right, everybody. Welcome back. It is Wizards and Warriors, episode 3. I am one of your hosts, Hadi Sayed Ali, Frisco Pinball, and my other host right here is...
Yep, Joe, J-Land. What's
Well,
going on? We're
not
back for round 3.
round 3, right? Fight. Welcome back again, everybody. It's been an eventful summer. I know we've got the logos to do it now. But it was a lot of fun. These last few months, last few weeks have been super hectic, and it doesn't get any less busy for a lot of people. We've just come back from a barn burner of a summer for competitive pinball in August and September. The big majors are back. Obviously, we'll talk about Papa 21. Everyone's getting a chance now to choose where to go with these big regionals, and the world majors are back. EPC was just this past weekend. Just a couple big tourneys left. I think we've got Cincinnati. There's a major mega match play. Obviously, the UK Open coming up Thursday this week. And I'm signed up right now for the UK Open, as obviously I'm flying out tomorrow. I don't know why I questioned that. And then Cincinnati and mega match play for now. And also the Space City Open in Houston is next week, I believe, or in a couple weeks, which is a really fun party. They'll have X-Men there. I know the Portland Expo is going on, where X-Men is making its debut. From Stern Pinball, Avatar was just released, so people are getting to try that out. Joe, how have you been? What have you been up to?
Yeah, since Papa, just kind of playing some local events, local league. One of our local kind of tournament series is wrapping up this weekend. So while you're in the UK, it's called the DMV Cup. One of our local guys, Jose and Stephanie, hosted a series of tournaments over the summer and culminating into this final tournament. So I'm really looking forward to playing in that.
Dude, that's
on Saturday.
awesome. Where is it? Where do the prior matches take place? Was that at Mom's, or was that
No, they speaking of Mom's, they just opened their kind of new location, Vuck pinball. It's out in it's in DC instead of Maryland this time. So
okay.
There's a bunch of locations scattered around Northern Virginia. I think even going far as south as Fredericksburg. So they had a bunch of qualifying events, and then the finalists are all meeting
Nice.
in one final event on Saturday.
So the Whopper's got to be big, right, for a final culminating cup, or were they? Because is this like a season?
No, it's a big Whoppers, big money too. So each of the qualifiers, people kind of contribute to the final pot. So I think it's like over $3,000 in the pot for the final. Yeah, it's pretty sick. And then I think it's around 62 players this weekend, and we're doing like 9 rounds of match play and then finals.
Oh, that's
the top
good.
8.
Dude, that's really, really good. Hey, you get a big win this week and pop yourself up. You're close to that 250, right?
Dude, that's the goal, man.
Yeah. How many? Well, yeah, 3 more months, I guess. But there's still plenty of opportunities. Cincinnati should be a big one. Pastimes Mega Match Play should be a big one. Am I missing any other big ones that are upcoming? Space City Open, but that's
the only other one that I've I think got on my calendar is Flippers Outer Banks. I know it's no longer, or it's not on the Stern Pro Circuit Tour this year. I think they may be reapplying, but same format as it's been years past, so should be a good one.
So there's nothing. I'm trying to think of anything in California or Florida. There's no. Where was was Connecticut where 24 Hours at the Sanctum was, or is that a Florida thing?
I've never been to that one.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, I've heard about that one. People are saying you should give it a shot because it's such a unique format. But I know there's just so many great regionals and big tournaments for people to kind of pick and choose and see where they want to travel. It's nice for the people in the Midwest for sure, because they have access to everything within a stone's throw, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So with that, I want to thank everybody for the great feedback on episode 2. It was a long one. I kind of warned everybody, if we have a few tournaments to go through, we're going to go through them in depth, at least the big ones. Hopefully you find it helpful, useful, somewhat entertaining. I know it's a lot. 4 hours is a lot to take in. So
Nice.
if you can, break it up in different segments for a long car ride or a long flight if you have it. But I'm really enjoying it, and I really appreciate everybody's kind words about the podcast. Congrats to Tom Graff launching his new tournament-focused podcast, Pinball Pulse. I love the format of talking with players and just talking about what's going on. And it's great to have more tourney talk. I think you could have an unlimited amount. I could listen to it all day, but I know it's not for everybody. So, again, thank you to everybody that's listening. With that said, let's go to our recent tournaments. And we had some pretty interesting ones to kind of start off. Excuse me, there it is. The or end the month of August. So, what we're seeing now, Joe, do you want to go over the Northwest Pinball Championship?
Yeah. NWPC. Let's see. These are
The main.
the results of the main event.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's
No, that is not it. Sorry.
right
Give me
screen.
one sec. There's something else. That's why. These are the main. There they are.
There we go. Yeah. Okay, cool.
You're like, who are those? What are
Yeah,
those
so
names?
I don't know if I recognize his name. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so the main tournament winner was Escher Levkov,
Congrats,
taking home a
Escher.
whopping, yeah, congrats, 234 whoppers there, followed by Jason Zoller, second, 202, Tim Hansen in third with 184, and Luke Nahorniak in fourth with 169.
Nice. And yeah, you had some other
Um,
finishers there, ZMAC, Carlos, Steve Bowden. Did you watch any of NWPC?
I think I watched here and there. I mean, it's a great tournament. I know it's a pretty tough format, with
Yeah.
a double card.
Yeah, I've
You
never
know,
seen that. That's it's
it's
card is hard enough already, but double card.
yeah, right. It sounds pretty intense, but I mean, people love it. So,
Yeah, is that
obviously
Jermaine's?
draws a lot of big names.
Is that Jermaine's mad scientist experiment?
Yeah, right. He's really optimizing the
Yeah.
you're squeezing all the whoppers out of it. So,
I mean,
no,
look.
it's awesome.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I hope to make it out there one day for that event. It looks really like a good time.
Yeah, and I was like I said to a lot of people when I saw that chart of the number of players per state, I was floored when I saw Washington just dominating. They have such a huge scene
Oh
up
yeah.
there, and some great players obviously that come out of there. Sean Irby, Jermaine, Ray Day originally, I guess. But
Yeah,
it looks
Richie
like a fun
Terry.
time. El Rucco's there now.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, that looked like a great tournament. I watched a lot of Gold Wings, which
Oh yeah.
was apropos because of X-Men's new release. And now I learned, hey, this is where some inspiration came from. But it
Hmm.
was a great tournament to watch. Shout out to, I think Geek Gamer TV had the coverage. They had rigs everywhere, cameras everywhere. So thank you for the wonderful footage and the streaming of NWPC. Those whoppers, as you can tell right now, just absolutely massive. I'm looking at them, and 13th place got 99 whoppers, tied for 12th, and
Sheesh.
yeah, that is absolutely massive. So they didn't just have the main; they also had the high stakes. So we'll take a look at that. High stakes, 100 whoppers to the winner there, and obviously with high stakes, you're not just being rewarded with a good amount of whoppers, you're being rewarded with a good amount of cash. And look at Dalton Ely's Indisc high stakes win, and that was
Oh
15K.
yeah. That was sick.
Right, right.
That was so sick.
I don't know what the high stakes payout here was, but I know that it was probably nice to say the least. But ZMAC in first with 100 points, Ray Day in second with 75 whoppers, Escher Lefkoff in third with 61. Will that even make his card? um,
Oh no, no
no,
shot.
no shot. And Luke coming in fourth with 51.98. You have some other finishers in the top 10: Kaylee, Tim Hansen, Jermaine, Zyron, Steve Bowden, Jim Belcito, Robert Gagno. Sorry if I pronounce that wrong. Vincent Speraza, Gabe De Silveira, and Vincent Poudrier. So now, after the high stakes, what's a main tournament without some classics?
Oh yeah, classics. Let's see. We got Derek Thompson taking this one down. 203 whoppers. I remember mentioning. I think he kind of punched his ticket to Worlds with this finish. So
Yeah.
nice job to him. Escher Lefkoff in second, 175 whoppers. Jermaine third, very nice, 159. And then rounding out the top four, Bob Caldwell. Shout out Bob, 146.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, because Derek was, I think, after Papa, he was like 18. Um, like his rank was 18. I think I saw him on the front page. I was like, oh, and someone
Oh wow.
mentioned during the Papa broadcast he had just won. They were like, didn't he just win one of the classics at another one? And this was it. So that's a huge amount of points. Congrats to all the people that performed well at NWPC again. Looks like an absolutely amazing event. Jermaine and company. I know Ashley Weaver was big on helping gather all the volunteers. If I would have gone, I definitely would have wanted to at least scorekeep for just a little so I could, kind of see how everything was shaking out. But double card, man, double card's a grinder of a format. So congratulations,
Different beast.
everybody. Seriously, I know that's the real beast. Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah.
That is that's the real
I should
beast.
change my words wisely there.
Yeah. But yeah, congrats again. It's a summer tournament. They're really trying to figure out the best weekends for all of these because I think this one had to be moved initially because of Papa.
Yeah.
And so it's just going to get more jam packed. The great thing is there's always going to be a big tournament around the corner. So if you feel like you miss one, unless you're trying for the Stern Pro Circuit, which has specified events, you're always going to have a chance to um, go to one of these every month, it seems like. So right after the classics of the Northwest Pinball Championship, which was held on the weekend of August 24th, we had the unique tournament out in Colorado. I've been to this once. It was an absolute blast playing with some of my TPN friends, George from Don't Panic Flip, and also Bumper Nugget is Paul Caldwell, and also there was another guy. I forgot his name. I apologize. But it's called Dory Hill. And Dory Hill is a very unique tournament because it's held on a campground and it's just a great party. And they put pins in all the different cabins. There are all sorts of themes that go on. And Snow, Galvin, and Colorado Pinball, they help host everything, and it has a long, long wait list. I played with Walt Wood 2 or 3 years ago too. That was a good time. So it's a big Colorado tournament, and it's where I learned that you can gamble in Colorado. There's like a town that's near where this was held, and I walked into the city, or I stayed nearby in the city, and I was like, wait a minute. There's casinos here. You mean I can gamble here? It was great because I got to play craps with no one around because it wasn't very crowded. So win-win. But for the Dory Hill Campground Pinball Campout, your winner is Donovan Stepp, top 100 player with 56.66 whoppers. Ross Unruh, 48.78. Eric Leon in third with 44.27. Drew Donahue in fourth with 40 whoppers earned. The rest of your top players: Kevin Ryan, Kevin McCarthy, Weston Higgins, Justin Roush, Sean Burke, Chase Hart, Cindy Grote, Dave Johnson, Pez Johnson.
Pez.
What'd you say? Sorry.
Oh, I just said Pez.
Oh, yeah. No, PZ. 23.48 whoppers. That's not bad. Not bad at all. But then after that, again, Dory Hill was held the weekend of September 8th. Mark that on your calendars if you are interested. We had the Delaware Pinball Open, and why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Delaware Pinball Open, they've changed the format over the years, I believe. So this year they tried the card format, and I believe it was qualifying over. It was Wednesday through Friday or Saturday, and then they had their finals on Saturday. So, yeah, it looks like it was a great event. Wish I could have made it, but yeah, it really solid operation over there with Chad.
The
Um,
DPC looks like a lot of fun. Just the event space itself.
oh yeah, it's in like an office space, so it's very roomy, very well lit. And yeah, no, it's a great setup. I love playing up there as much as I get a chance to.
Don't slide the machine over the TPS reports. That's what they say.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, what were the
They all
results?
need cover sheets.
What were the results for this one?
Yeah, let's see. So we got Tom DeStasio taking down number one with a nice 83 whoppers. Bob Choate getting second with 63. Uh, Jim Perugini with 52.5. And then Robert DeStasio with 44.5, rounding out the top four. The rest of the name, I guess the rest of the top 10, we got Levy over there. Nice with a
Boom.
fifth place finish. Yeah, Levy Naiman, 38. Matthew Hartman, 32.7. Alex Kelly, shout out, is it Nightlight?
Yeah, I
With
think that is. Yeah, he's on his
28.
quest to the pro.
Yeah, that's right. You can follow him on YouTube.
Yes.
Um, and then Cliff Albert, shout out Cliff with
Hey, DJ
eighth place
Warlock.
there. DJ Warlock Pinball, that's right.
Nice. And then you see Steve Zollers down there, Sanjay, Chad Hastings, Elliot, Keith, all the East Coast guys, basically. I don't see any um, out of the region participants there.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a lot of I think a lot of guys in like the New Jersey, Philadelphia area typically show up. I know Elliot's in Maryland. But yeah, no, it's a good mix of people on the East Coast. So
that is awesome. Congrats to all the winners there. Another successful DPC event being held the week of September 14th. And then we travel from the East Coast down to Texas for our attempts with the DFW players and players from South Texas at another big certified event with the first annual Bosque River Brawl. Bosque River Brawl. I hope I don't say that wrong, but this was an event run by Steve McMullen. He plays in a lot of DFW events. His sons come along with him. Really great guys. And they hosted a pretty big event for at least the competitions that we've had for DFW players. We had the Abilene Showdown earlier this year, and we're trying to get more certified big events, especially for a metropolis as big as the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So really, really impressed with the approach and also the overall, motivation to get Whoppers in the state of Texas.
oh yeah.
So I don't have to keep traveling elsewhere and save on some travel costs. But your winners for the first annual Bosque River Brawl, Gabriel McMullen, home field advantage. Gabe taking down 99 Whoppers. And this was huge for
Nice.
him because you can see his rank there.
Whoa.
Yeah, 41, 46. So this
Look
literally
at that.
doubled his total Whoppers on his prior card. He's obviously a lot higher ranked, and he's actually now in the running to hopefully get close to making the cutoff for states. But Jessica
Awesome.
Darnardo in second, and I watched this courtesy of Carpool Pinball. Really great streamers. It's run by Garrett Shan and Clark McCoy. Garrett Shan, our Texas State champ. Um, really, really good streaming there. Eric Anderson in third. Nice pickup of points for him as well. And Daniel Martin, I've played against him a few times now. Awesome player to compete against. All these players just really amazing. And this wasn't just the only tournament. This was just the main. They had a bunch of side tournaments for people to make the travel worth it. So you could sort of, kind of like District 82, like where you had 4 to 6 tournaments over the weekend. But the rest of your top 10, Mark Gammons, Ken Kemp, Ross Kirchmeyer, Brian Krivenak, David Whitlock, Tom George, Greg Gibson, Jonathan Morales, Rick Miller, Clark McCoy, and Garrett Shahan to round out your top 15. But again, congrats, Gabriel McMullen. Big, big points. And I got a picture here. So if you guys are listening and want to see, here were your top 4. There's Gabe, Jessica, Eric, and Daniel. It was a lot of EMs. And it was fun to
Oh
watch
wow.
because, man, people were getting crushed. And I learned a lot about some of them. The great equalizer, as everybody calls it. Do you like a mix of EMs in your banks, or are you more of a modern to mid kind of guy?
Oh no, I don't get me wrong. I love changing it up with EMs. I think it's nice when tournaments have eras because
Yeah.
then you can get a nice, well-rounded champion. Do you know what was the format of this tournament? I hadn't
It
heard of it.
was match play. So it was
Okay.
qualifying was 1 day, and it was, I think, I want to say 10 rounds of two or something like that. But they had qualifying 1 day, and then the next day it was like top 40 maybe, or something with where one round
Mm.
was, they had a round of buys or 2 rounds of buys. So but yeah, it was, the main was really impressive to get certified at um, this amount because it didn't even sell out. There were still
Oh
tickets
wow.
available, and so yeah, it was 1 day of qualifying, and then finals were on Sunday, and it was match play for both days. There were like
Awesome.
strikes tournaments like on the side and a couple match play ones, but this was, oh, there was a beat the clock one as well. So I had the beat the
Mm.
clock strikes and then qualifying is for this. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Looks like a good time. And I promise I wasn't calling you mid. I was saying what hair. But congrats again to everybody. But that leads us to our next tournament. I'm going to go ahead and take on this one for PATL.
Oh yeah, Pinball at the Lab just happened.
Yep.
Man, yeah, this is a fun one to watch. Let's see. Okay, so the results here, Dustin Goldbar, dude, taking down number one with 130 whoppers. Dude, shout out Dustin. He has been on fire this year. I was looking at the standings for California. Like, I think he's like 10th in California, which is insane. But he has like 25 wins
Oh,
in the state, which I don't think anyone's even like close to. Um,
that would be
so
amazing to
yeah, he's.
find out like top winners per state, like top event winners per state.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That'd
That
be
should be something we can look at.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta
Maybe we can pull that data.
and make sure there's like a minimum Whopper threshold, so it's not like the guy that submits a tournament between him and his buddy, and it's like, yeah, I got 40 wins. Oh, it's against my kids.
Yeah. But yeah, he actually cracked top 100 pro with that win too. So
Wow.
that's huge. Um, let's see, ZMAC in second with 110. Will McKinney in third with 99, and IE Pinball himself, Carl D'Angelo in fourth with 90. Um, let's see the rest of the names in the top 10 here. We got Matthew Talley with 83. Sean Irby, we were just talking about, with 77, tied for sixth with Derek Price. In eighth, we've got Zach Wollens, 66, and then looks like Mark Bandong,
Mhm.
57, and then Michael Kostelnik, also tied for 10th. And then we've got Jordan DeCane and or Deshane, sorry, and then Johnny Modica, um, rounding out the top 12 there.
Yeah, looks good. Yeah, we had a three-way tie at 10, and shout out to Carl for streaming it and getting to the finals. I was watching that, and Carl's a trooper because he was getting some terrible sling down drains, just house
Yeah,
balls. And I was like, this man is, running the whole show and still performing at an insanely high level. I was like, let him flip, please. It was a fun matchup to watch though, that finals. I'm trying to remember the bank they had. There
I know Game of Thrones was the last game.
was Surf and Safari, was that the first
That's
one?
right. I think it was Surf and Safari was the
Yeah, and it was
first.
crazy. Like you get to the
Um,
multi-ball and you got to hit all the shots, and then there's like that millions mode with the stand up. Then there's like not whirlpool, I guess whirlpool millions, like uh Whitewater esque, if you want to call it.
I
Forgot
forgot
what
it
the
was four game banks. So
that's
they
it.
yeah, I just pulled it up. So Surf and Safari was game one. Lost Jurassic Park Lost World was game
Ugh.
two. Which yeah, that game looks fun.
Yeah, that might be the one game. I'm generally a positive guy. Generally always say Yeah, I don't really think there's any bad pinball games, man. I was watching that. I was like, this game looks terrible. Like, I do not want to flip this. That's stupid. And I know El Rocco loved it, the baby raptor or the T-Rex coming out of the egg. I was like, that looks like the worst mech ever. But they played it, and there was a great clip of, I think it was Dustin during the multi-ball. You have to hit both orbits, and he like
Mm.
separated. He had it on both on one flipper, and like he separated it, and in the separation with one hit, he hit both orbits. So imagine both balls going out, and it was just like the
Wow,
craziest shot. And then he had another one right after. It was nuts. Yeah,
that's sick.
no thank you,
Paragon was game 3, and then yeah, Game of Thrones is the final.
dude. Paragon. I'm glad that washed the taste of Lost World out of my mouth. Yeah, good event. Pinball at the lab, sort of testing everything out for in disc. I think a lot of were some of those Jim Belcitos. I think they were right.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I know there was a Bone Busters there
Yeah,
that looked really fun.
yeah, it's cool to watch. He's got some interesting titles, and everybody was talking about Surfing Safari, and then there was another one that was sort of a unique pin
Teed
that
Off,
no.
I hadn't really seen before.
Which one?
Teed Off,
Oh yeah,
another
yeah.
Gottlieb,
That's
I
that's
think.
the one. Yep. And it was like
Um,
you could go from 3 million, and then all of a sudden you have like 120 million because if you can just, there were certain modes that were crazy. And I remember playing the virtual version and thinking this game is wild, but it was so hard on their version because the upper left flipper, you had to hit it perfectly. It's like a mini flipper to hit the scoop up or the saucer up on the top left, which was really important. There was like a mode. I wish I could remember. There was a mode that was like super lucrative. I think Ray Day was talking about it in chat too. So, congrats
mm,
everybody! Pinball at the lab. Thank you again, Carl. Everybody that helped put it on, Jim. Wonderful event. Wonderful event. And with that said, we do want to recognize. Thank you, Josh Sharp and everybody in the Discord for IFPA and Ray Day because we do have a Rookie of the Year race. I didn't realize this was a thing.
yeah.
Great call on including this in the script. So if you want to go ahead and list these points, because there's a clear runaway winner, and I think Chris Noah's from Texas because I believe I played against him at an event recently, and I was like, oh
Mm.
wow, yeah, he's really good. I haven't seen him around, so this would explain it because he's in the running. So go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. I was talking to who was it? John Del Zappo recently, and because I think we were watching the Cleepin finals stream, and I noticed name had popped out to me, Jaden Rich, and I know his dad Aaron Rich was playing in the same tournament, and I met him previously, but I didn't realize he had a son that also played pinball, and so I kind of asked him about him, and was like, hey, like, has this guy been around for a while, or like I just don't remember seeing him around. And then he mentioned, he started playing recently, so I know I looked at his player card, and he just started playing this year, so you
Holy
know
cow.
it's very impressive seeing someone learn that quickly and then also perform at a high level also very quickly. So yeah, Jaden Rich is number one right now, 318 whoppers. I think that number is actually a little higher now too. After Cleepin had posted, I think he got a decent amount of points from that event. Let
That's
me actually just
awesome.
pull it up real
That's
quick.
really,
Yeah,
really cool. I'm glad they have this
right.
kind of data. I know they have the movers and shakers, kind of for each month. There's a funny one. They were talking about Retro Ralph jumping up like 30,000 points for this month. But it's great because the IFPA does these cool little things, and then it qualifies these individuals who win these awards for a discount on a new Stern if they want to buy it, or some other sort of lucrative incentive, hopefully down the line. But congratulations, everybody, on your Rookie of the Year chase right now. Jaden Rich, Chris Noah, Nestor Rocha, top 1, 2, 3. And then you can see the other names: Mike Bowman, Arthur Rupel, Mario Garza, Craig Garrett, Mike Carlson, to round that out. There's more names on there, but it doesn't fit on the little TV we have here. But
Yeah, just quick shout out Michael Hild. He's at the bottom of that list, but he's a local Virginia guy who started playing this year too, and I got to meet him and play against him. He's really really good. for just having started playing. So it was awesome to see his name on the list too.
Now, how many of these guys are older than 30? Because that's what I want to know.
Oh, I'm gonna guess none of them.
Hopefully, one or two.
Hopefully one or two. Yeah, exactly.
But with that, we segue over to the next part of our podcast. Right now, we've gone over your recent tourneys, and we hope you enjoyed the recap. Congrats to all the winners. But now we've got to talk about some upcoming stuff that's on the horizon. Obviously, big one this week is the UK Open. Neil McRae, Domino Pinball. Going to be held in Croydon, London. It's got 2 certified events and then the Pinball Republic Championship. And I think at the end of this episode, after we get through our in-depth review of Papa 21, we'll kind of go over what our cards would look like or what pins we might pick. So that'll be a fun little game. But UK Open starting this week, starting Thursday. I will be there. I'm flying out tomorrow in the afternoon to JFK. And from JFK, I arrive in Croydon at Gatwick at 8:30 in the morning, Thursday. So I am getting off the plane, dropping my bags off, and heading to put in a crappy card. So I can't wait. Can't wait. I better sleep on that flight. I've got X-Men 97 downloaded. I've got what else did I download? Oh yeah, Squid Games. I never got to see that, so I've got that downloaded.
Oh,
So I'm excited. What else do we have after that?
What do you do on flights typically? Do you typically like sleep through flights, or do you like to
It
watch shows?
depends on the length. So if I'm on like less than 2 hours, I won't sleep. I try to sleep. I got to remember my pillow though, because I'm not paying $50 for a neck pillow at the airport. I bought one already. I don't need to buy another one. But I think if I could, I always try to get a window, and I always go in the back. I don't care about rushing off the plane because I always check my bags.
Yeah.
I finally got approved for TSA pre-check. Side
Huge.
note, I was worried because a long time ago, post 9/11 era, I always used to get stopped because my name is pretty long. So my full name is Sayed Hadi, and then my middle name Sayed Ali. So Sayed's a family label. It's just like a family label that doesn't count for your first name. But anyways, there was a Canadian terrorist with the same or very similar name. So I used to always get stopped at airports, whether it was check-in, TSA, whatever. And I was like, dude, there's no way they approved me for pre-check. But lo and behold, I submitted my application last week. Within a day, my security background was approved. I think I've proven myself now, like throughout the years, as an upstanding citizen. So I've got pre-check ready. I just hopefully can walk right in. But I generally try to sleep. Usually, hopefully not falling asleep on my neighbor's shoulder without any drool. How about you?
Yeah. No, I think I sleep almost every single flight that I get on, no matter how long or short.
Is it
I'm
just
just like,
is it a reflex, or you're just so comfortable in the position of like putting your head against the window, or?
I think it's more just like I get a little restless when I'm like in a tight, compact space, and then I just, instead of like, keeping my mind stimulated, I just rather
Yeah.
pass out.
It's smart. I mean, the sleep is the best because you close your eyes, you wake up, you're hopefully a little refreshed, and then you've got like no time left on your trip. Hopefully, this is the longest trip I've ever had. I've never been outside the country other than a spring break trip to the Bahamas and drive through Canada to the east. So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm interested to see what England's like. I hear that the worse the food name is, the better it tastes. So we'll see what happens there. Have you been outside of the U.S.?
Yeah, a few times. I've been to London once.
Oh, okay.
It was a long time ago, probably over 10 years ago now, when I was studying abroad in the
Oh,
Netherlands.
nice.
But I got to spend a weekend in London, and it was a really nice time. So
That's awesome.
yeah, you should enjoy it, man.
Any
It's gonna be a
recommendations
good one.
for food?
Food. Yeah, beans and toast.
Yeah, that's the picture on my hotel's website. They're like, upgrade to a breakfast, ultimate breakfast. And I looked at the picture and it was like a big pile of beans. And I was like, well, when in Rome/London.
Right.
But after the UK Open, we've got the Concord Championships. It looks like November 2nd through the 3rd. Pins and Pirates Pinball Rally December 5th through the 8th. What else do we got?
Yeah. There's a Monterey Quarterly. That's November 29th to December 1st. Cincinnati in December. That's December 6th through 8th. Seaside Champ, also in California, December 14th and 15th. And looks like that's kind of it for the year.
Yeah, I do want to highlight on this list. We don't have it because I don't think it was on the list on Tilt Forums, but also the Pastimes Mega Max Play is going to be the week.
Yeah, we're going to that.
Yeah, that's right. Weekend of November 8th. And obviously, I consider that and Cincinnati kind of the last big ones, so to speak. We've obviously got some regionals there. Seaside Champ, I thought I heard they were doing something different. But then, beginning of next year, end of January, Indisc 2025. I hope to see you all there. Are you planning on going?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm
Nice.
tracking flights now.
Nice.
Yep, definitely plan on going.
Skyscanner, baby.
Yep.
And then Starfighters, I'll see you there.
Yes, yeah. Bought tickets to Starfighters as well. I'm excited to go for the first time.
Thank you for the reminder, by the way. He definitely helped me get the tickets because I completely forgot. But it's going to be double in size. Starfighters out in Mesa, Arizona. Double in size of the actual location. And I think they added more people for the tournaments, but it's a good event. Like I had such a blast last year. And then after that, you got the NACS championships and we start all over again with the spring to summer bull rush. So those are your upcoming tournaments. Yeah. And with that said, we're going to now transition to our in-depth review of one of the biggest tournaments. We're very happy it came back for a great cause. And obviously we're talking about excuse me, let's go back. And then we're talking about Papa 21 to honor the late great Lyman Sheets. I'm posting a picture of me because I thought it was appropriate. But I had this
nice shirt.
Yeah, thank you. I had that shirt made before we went to Papa. Just says thank you, Lyman. But a big shout out to everybody that ran it. There's the ladies of Papa, Dawn, Penny, Ruth Ann, Aaron Seiden, Penny Epstein, Ruth Ann Bagwell, and Dawn. A lot of hard work went into raising a lot of money for a great cause. And it was a great tournament. My initial impressions of it were blown away. I really enjoyed almost every aspect of it. We'll talk about pros and cons like we do with every tournament. But my initial thoughts, great location. Thank you to all the volunteers who donated pins, helped set up pins. Andy Bagwell, really organized, along with obviously Penny, Josh Sharp. Just there's a lot of names to say. So if I miss it, miss some, I apologize. Tom Graff for streaming it on Fox Cities Pinball. Pluto for helping get pinball front page coverage. And then Brian Dye for helping be a great producer for Tom's stream. And yeah. So all the volunteers, initial thoughts, grueling, very grueling. Card format is not to be trifled with. You take a look at the qualifying scores. Hopefully that database gets sort of revamped. I know Carl had some issues. I was trying to go back and see some of the scores, but the links are down because the database just got messed up, I think. So, but a really tough format. I focused on classics, which was a pump and dump format. Qualifying went for 2.5 days up until about 4 p.m. on Sunday, starting at Thursday at 10 a.m. or around there. And then finals were on Saturday night. They went till 1 a.m. The card qualifying went till 10 p.m. on Saturday, I believe. And there were some really cool finishes. Big shout out to Austin Trent for his last minute blow up of Star Wars to push him into a really good spot in the A finals for Papa 21. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, just going off that, I watched him play that game on Star Wars Austin, and that was insane. He started that card at 9:30 p.m. By the way, I don't know if people know that,
That's
but
insane for
um,
5 games.
yeah, it was like a crazy card too. It was like Kiss was on there. I mean, it was a lot of like fast playing games because he had to really
I was just
knock out
thinking
five
that, like,
games.
if you have 30 minutes, you can only really play those early solid states, or if there's any EMs involved, because you
Yep,
need quick games. You can blow up a solid state, in 5-10 minutes. Just get a
yep,
couple good bounces, as we'll see in the Bally Kiss footage from the finals.
yeah. But yeah, no, overall thoughts. I'd been to Ontario before. I was there for the pre-expo tournament that I think Andy hosts every year.
Yep.
Last year, so I had a bit of an idea of the space, but yeah, I was not gonna lie, I was a little skeptical. I was like, man, I don't know how they're gonna fit like 200 some people in this
Yeah.
small space, but they really opened it up, got the the ballrooms in the back to set up for the tournament area, and I think yeah, like you said, did a great job. Everything ran super smooth. So
Yeah, it was a lot of volunteers. I did some scorekeeping for 4 hours. Next time, I gotta figure out what my time management is, because I spent so much time trying to qualify in classics that I could never really put up a good main card, which worked out this time, but you never know in the future. So when you do these tournaments with either one pump and dump and one card kind of go in simultaneously, maybe both are pump and dump, or maybe both are cards, what do you focus on? Do you ever try to have you tried kind of splitting your time before, or um do you say, F it, I'm just going to focus on one, because I don't really want to mess with spending the money and the time, and it just might drag me away?
yeah, I've definitely done both. I've split my time. I think at Indisc this past year and at the Beast last year. And it's extremely difficult. I think if you get to a certain level of play where you can be super efficient in blowing up games, and very good with spending your time wisely, then I think it comes easier to those players. And definitely kudos to them who can pull
Yeah,
it off. But
it's hard.
man, it's makes it all the more impressive when you try it yourself and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like
And the
you have to
biggest
defend your
thing,
scores.
yeah, the biggest thing is watching the bleed, because you think you've got
Yeah.
this great card or great entries, and then you're like, okay, let's say I get the top score on a game. Well, if you get knocked down, that's 10 points usually. Unless it's
Yep.
to 195, um, or from 200 to 195. So it is such a sort of watching the clock. What queues are long? Which game do I think I can fit in? Because then if you try to play games that have short queues, you may not know them as well, and that may ruin, if you're on
Mhm.
the card format, a whole good card. And I think uh, Greg Pavarelli was talking about it during the finals. He was like, I had a great card that was going to be worthy of a buy, and then my fifth game, I just didn't do well. And so choosing that fifth game is such a hard, uh, getting through a card is such a hard task to manage. How do you generally approach your card format? So for those that don't know, um, card format is a method for competitive pinball where you are assigned 3 to 5 games per card. So whatever your scores are on all of those, that will determine your total finishing position. You can void the card obviously early on, but that's why I kind of want to ask you. That's why I wanted to ask you what your strategy was.
Yeah, this is something that I had to kind of really discuss with a few people. Shout out Preston Curry and again John Del Zappo, who I stayed with while I was over there. But they kind of helped me build a strategy of I think Game 5 you really need to worry about putting as like maybe not your best game, but definitely like one of your stronger games, to finish your card out as like your insurance, for the card to kind of finish out. Um, and then putting your more volatile games like towards the beginning, so you know whether or not that's going to be a good card to play. Um, so yeah, I definitely kind of shifted that order around quite a bit once I, played through some games. I figured out what I was, my strong points and my, weaker ones, and just kind of went from there. It was very dynamic, but something I do wish I'd done is maybe played every game in the bank instead of just laser focusing on like the few that I was kind of comfortable with. Because towards the end, I was just throwing games onto, the ones that I had, like Bonsai Run. I don't think I played until the final hours of Saturday, and I was like, man, why didn't I play this more? Because it's
Yeah,
actually very playable.
that was my sort of my lead-in question, or one of my next ones, is your strategy sort of changes because now you're running up against the clock. And do you ever do cards where I know near the end some people will start a card, and if it's crappy from right at the beginning, they just void it because then they can start another one. But do you ever
Mhm.
do cards where you just practice? I know I think what I'm going to start doing is 2 to 3 cards. Just let me see where everything is. Maybe I get lucky on one of the cards, but at least I can play them to see what's going on. Because at Papa there was this thing called the Bonsai Run Shimmy, and I don't remember what exactly it was. Maybe you can enlighten me. But once people figured out what the trick was on Bonsai Run with the shimmy move, they were like, "Oh, this is free now."
Yeah, I'm not sure. I heard about that one, but I don't know if maybe it had something to do with the that up kicker or
Okay. Yeah, but
yeah. I'm just not
I
sure.
was gonna say, I think, are you going forward now probably gonna do like practice cards just to get some time on
Oh
some of the
yeah,
nice.
yeah. It's I think it kind of depends also. Like in this for Papa, the cards cost $20 each,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah, that's a
in my
lot to
mind, I'm like,
practice.
I'm not throwing $20 away. I'm gonna get my money out of this, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
at the very least, put up a game on like Bally Star Trek or like Strikes and Spares, right?
Yeah, it was
Um,
not cheap.
yeah.
And I'm thankful that they gave cards to volunteers because I was like, I'm already spending a ton on classics. Let me get like a comp or two. I didn't even use all of them, which I was kind of pissed about, but it is what it is. So format wise, that's kind of what we were dealing with. Really well run machines. Things were breaking down as expected, but TDs and techs were all over it. They had a ton of people helping. And if you didn't, as a scorekeeper, if I couldn't find anybody, I would go to the registration desk, and they would help. Help me get somebody the help they need, especially on time sensitive stuff. Maybe not so much on the EMs, but at least on some of the moderns. If things are on a clock, you don't want ball searches going off or whatnot. So pros, a lot to name. Great cause. Late great Lyman Sheets brought and continues to bring a ton of happiness to the pinball community with his excellent work. I got to talk to Penny. I went to show her my shirt, and she was very happy, to see the outpouring of love, not from obviously just myself, but from everybody for Lyman. He told me a couple cool stories how they would talk on those old BBS, those bulletin boards on
Mm.
online, and how they met in, you know, through pinball and had a great time together. So I'm glad everybody got to sort of learn more about Lyman and what he brought to the hobby. Um, do you have anything else to add before I go into cons? Because I do have one or two things, but nothing big.
Yeah. I think a big pro for me was the location.
Yeah,
Schaumburg, Illinois, 30 minutes from, downtown Chicago. It was awesome. I got to spend, plus with the format, being card, you can kind of come and go as you please. I got to get some really good meals in
nice,
and, got to visit Logan Arcade as well. So that was really cool to, be
awesome.
able to space your time out a little bit.
Did you have anything there that you hadn't eaten before?
Oh, I tried pizza from Pequod's.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
It was fine.
I had Portillo's for the first time, which is now national. There's one near me. It was really good. I had something called a pizzerito from some local chain. It was just like a giant
Mm.
calzone, but god damn, it was good. It lasted me like a couple days. Oh, it was so good.
Oh,
Yeah,
we got lunch at Lou Malnati's too.
yeah,
I forgot.
that's right. Yeah, we had
At
lunch with Nick. I
yeah,
had eaten
and
that before, but
tavern
man,
pie.
that never gets old. Oh god, that was so good. Cons. I mean, really hard for me to say like a true con. I wish. Um, I guess one thing I really enjoy at tournaments are maybe like an exclusive hour for volunteers to qualify.
Mm.
Because if you're giving up your time, I know you're getting the card, obviously, the free comp, but I do really enjoy that extra time. They had it at the Beast. And my recommendation, if any TDs are listening out there, any organizers, if you have a ton of scorekeepers or people working, if you can just give them like, maybe an hour one day before everything opens, just kind of get some qualifying entries in because they are dedicating some time away. But that's the risk you take. But that's really my only con. The space was great. I was at one of the Expo Flipping Out tourneys too, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and it was held on the other side where all the free play machines were. So that's where I thought Papa was going to be held. I was like, uh-oh,
Mm.
there's no way they have the space for this. But then you see where it was held on the other side. It was awesome. And thank you for having some insider connected machines out so we could get the Lyman badge from Stern Insider Connected. Very cool. But yeah, overall impressions, 10 out of 10. Thank you again, Penny, Andy, everybody that helped organize it. It was cool to see a lot of pinball uh, professionals there as well. Steve Ritchie was there. Jack Danger, after his reveal of X-Men, was there. Um, I
I think Mark
saw,
Seaton was there too.
yeah, I saw Tanyo competing in classics, which was pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah, it was just nice to see the Chicago pinball community, including those that make these great games for us, show up and show out. Final total raised, which again, the whole reason for this was to bring attention to the Lyman F. Sheets Memorial for Suicide Awareness, the charity for 988. How much did they raise? $32,905.34. Absolutely massive number. Uh, great turnout for everybody. Not only that, they gave away two pinball machines. Ollie Koskinen won the Godfather from JJP, and Nate Grant, who was competing in the semifinals at the time, won the Stern Newen box. And yeah, so I think it's Kennebunk Pinball. I think he was streaming with Marco Pinball the other day. So yeah, really nice event. $46,477 in prize money, two pinball machines, raffle prizes, just really good. So now we're going to go to our in-depth review of the actual competition. We're going to start off with the main event, the A finals. So I'll bring that up here and let me put on the footage. So I'm going to have the footage sort of rolling in the background.
An incredible pinball player, as well as all the amazing rules.
So what I have here showing right now, before we get to the main, we have the semifinals going on. So I do want to highlight one thing before we move on to the finals. And this was an absolute amazing performance by Zach McCarthy in the semifinals on the final game. I believe this was the final game. No, this was the second game based on the points. They are playing Willy Wonka. What do you know about Willy Wonka?
So this is a game that I think I played kind of later Friday, maybe on day 2 of qualifying, and I'm not super familiar with it, but I know hitting the captive ball is good. Get your kid multi-ball locks ready, hitting the gobstopper for your gobstopper locks, and then there's this kind of a scoop in the top right for your mode start. But outside of those 3 shots, I'm a little lost on the game.
You're like me. Yeah, so I just know to hit the ton of lights. I don't really play this that much, so you know a lot more than me. But we're watching ZMAC on ball 1, and he's already got 9.5 million. At some point, it'll tell us how many golden tickets he has. You need 5 golden tickets to unlock the ultimate wizard mode in the game, which is called Pure Imagination. So generally, I stepped up to this a couple times during qualifying, and I think my first ball on one of them was 700 points. So again, this is ZMAC's first ball.
It's very brutal.
Yeah, he is at 9.5 million. So he's kind of going to go through some of the modes and set things up. And through ball 1, he already has 3 golden tickets. I know that one of the last ones that he needed, and there his ball ends up draining. So he's around, I think he's around 10 million, it looks like. The last thing that he was on for his 5th golden ticket was the Wonka Vader. And I think Colin was talking about how you need to hit, there's like 3 phases, and then you have to hit the super jackpot in each phase. So what I'm going to do right now is let the audio play, and then we can listen to the final moments before ZMAC qualifies Pure Imagination, which is the final wizard mode.
Oh no. Let's go. Get it. Oh!
Wait, he activated it. Yes.
Incredible.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible.
He gets to Pure Imagination during the semifinals of the Papa World Championships.
This is an amazing game here from Zach
It's
McCarthy.
unbelievable.
Oh, we're just watching. We're just watching at this point, folks.
So yeah, so Zach gets to the ultimate wizard mode on Willy Wonka.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. Just blows it up. Actually, this was the third game because now they updated the points. He had 6 points along with Neil Graff. So they were both at 6. Nate Grant had 2 and Josh Sharp had 0 at that point. For the semifinals of Papa 21 main A division. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful performance. I just wanted to highlight it before we got to the rest of the footage for the main finals. But again, a great moment here. ZMAC comes up.
I think Zach wants to put his name in here.
Yeah, you better make this one official here.
LFS.
He's entering his initials.
LFS.
Penny's watching.
Yeah, even better.
He's gonna do it.
Even better. Thanks, Lyman. Let's go. Amazing. Thanks, Lyman. Thanks for making amazing stuff, bud. Here's celebrate. Oh my gosh. There it is. Incredible ending, fitting initials there.
And now watch the credits roll as he's the champion of everything in the game.
Just awesome. And then it was really good that I'm glad obviously Penny was there to witness that. It's just those small moments in pinball that are just super, super cool. Congrats to ZMAC for an amazing performance during the semifinals. Yeah, just wanted to highlight that.
That was awesome.
All right, so with that, we go to our finals. And your 4 finalists were Escher Lefkoff, Raymond Davidson, Zach McCarthy, and Neil Graff. So obviously some names you've heard and seen before. Their first game was Kiss Bally, 1 player only because we don't want any tilt-through shenanigans. What do you know about Kiss?
Yeah, I played this one a few times during qualifying. It can be very brutal to play, especially for a classic. But that plunge is very important. Plunging into that top middle lane kind of gives you spots you a row kiss letters. If you complete the grid of kiss letters, it awards you, let's see, what is it, a 40,000 super bonus?
Yep.
And then completion of the A, B, C, D letters will give you double bonus for that ball.
Yeah, and this maxed out at double bonus. And they actually, during qualifying, they had it so that it was only every 3 switches would turn on that center rollover lane, which would light your spinner. So every 3 switches it would turn on, and then the next switch it would be off. So it wasn't a constant where you could skill plunge into it because
That's right.
It was off sometimes, which is hard enough. So if you got it lit, you had to take advantage during the qualifying rounds. So Escher steps up. Let me go back a little bit. But Escher stepped up. His ball won. He missed the top lane. Kind of had a house ball. And this is kind of what a lot of people dealt with during qualifying and what a lot of people do deal with on KISS. Just quick balls. And with that, 3.9 thousand, which is, you're like, wait, what? That's all you can get? Yeah, that's all you can get. So you really have to get up to that top area and get your spinner lit but also you can really get some good up and down action from that center rollover off the pop right below it. And like you said, that spots you a line on the grid. And once you complete that once, 40K, complete it again, 80K, and then it maxes out at 80K. And then the right stand-ups ABCD get you your 2X. What do the left? I don't know what those left drops do. I should have figured that out. But when your spinner's lit, it's 1,000 a rip. One of the hardest spinner shots for me to hit because they're tucked away kind of on each side. So it's just really, really hard to kind of get a grasp of, hey, this is where it is on the flipper, because it's not all the way on the edge of the flipper, because the edge would hit that. There's 2 stand-ups on each side, I and S. And then again, the grid has 4 different colors: red, kiss, yellow, white, and green. So all those targets are thrown throughout the playfield, and once you complete one, it advances you towards eventually hopefully getting that super bonus. And we see Escher here. Ball 1, he had missed the top lane house ball, 3.9K. Ball 2, he got the top center lane love, and it opened up the right gate. Oh, forgot about that gate. If you hit that center when it's lit, there's a gate which will release the ball or return the ball to the shooter lane. Very, very nice. It's obviously an old school ball save.
Yep.
Do you like playing this one? I do. I enjoy it. When it's not, I don't like the every 3 switches thing because it's already hard enough. I don't think they needed it, but it is what it is.
I mean, I've definitely played this and enjoyed playing it. I mean, I did not enjoy playing it at Papa.
No, I did not either.
That's just a personal issue, I think.
Yeah, my best card had this on there, and it was only because I had the spinner lit and I hit it like twice. So, but we see Escher here. He had on his ball 2, he got the super bonus, and he ended up with 156K after ball 1. The great thing about the super bonus, like most super bonuses, they carry over ball to ball. So on his ball 3, he got the double bonus for the 2X along with his prior super bonus. He ends up with 263,000. Very strong first ball from Escher, especially based on just the qualifying scores and how his ball 1 started. So after that, who do we have coming up?
It's like Ray Day?
Yeah. Ray Day. You want to go over his kind of notes?
Yeah, sure. So his ball 1 looks like he lights a spinner with a center lane bounce, and then he rips the right spinner back to the shooter lane.
Yeah.
Let's see. Clears the grid with top lane. Gets 40K in his super plus 2X. But this super bonus.
Yeah, he's got a runner right now.
And then also gets a 2X.
Yep.
Yeah, he lights a 2X, so that's huge.
Yeah, I thought there was more than 2X, but I guess it's literally just a max of 2X.
And then let's see. What else does he do here? Another spinner rip with a rollover down the center.
Perfect timing because he's doing it right now on the footage.
Yep.
There's his 80K.
See this here. Yep. That's big. Let's see this.
Yeah, they circled it for us on the footage, which is awesome because he gets his 80K. Little flipper fumble there, but that's 160 just on ball 2. Yeah. So he's cooking. He's absolutely cooking. Massive ball 2. Or excuse me, ball 1. 310.
Ball 1, yeah, 310.
So
already passes Escher's score.
Exactly. And so yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Let's see. So he's got looks like around 90,000 points that are 80,000 that carry over, right? We're just talking about that. Max is at 80. Almost clears another grid with a top rollover. Finishes that ball with 460. And then his ball 3 gets another 2X bonus and finishes with 719,000, which is insane score
right?
To put up on his screen.
Right. He's just destroying it. It's just counting down right now as we're watching the footage. So the footage we're watching was Ray Day's last ball. It's kind of hopefully getting in sync with what we're talking about. But yeah, he had his ball 1, obviously. If you can get any super bonus on ball 1, you're set because it's going to set you up for the next 2 minimum 80K because your minimum is 40K. And then if you can get that ABCD, get your 2x, you're talking about another 320K if you get double bonus on both balls. So Ray Day setting the standard. Neil Graff, Tom Graff's son, but an amazing player, obviously in his own right. Out of the Wisconsin area, District 82 competitor. And his ball one, these guys had some amazing, amazing nudges up top. And so once Neil had kind of nudged and shown what you can do up top as far as nudging, ZMAC was watching and was like, okay, that's the move I need to do as far as a sort of a quick, powerful hit. It's not a sustained one, but as soon as it hits the top of the plastics up on the rollovers, you can get it back to that center lane. And Neil just had some really, really great nudges during his game. He had it spinner lit on ball one, ripped it twice, got 40K, but didn't get the double bonus. So he ended up with 114 after ball one, as you can see here. Ball two had a flipper fumble, unfortunately, right there. Steps away. Still, again, had his super bonus, so that kind of sets him up. So Escher had 263K. Neil is at 187 with 40K in the bank. So all he has to do is sort of last just a little. But he gets to ball three, and as we'll see here, there's the bump he was trying to get in the center, and boom, unfortunately, gets a flipper fumble. Escher's watching behind him.
Ooh.
And he gets so close, he ends up with 255,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was very close. You see them talking to each other and sort of smiling. He's like, "Woo, that was a point right there." But man, that it's just goes to show how even with the 40K, and they're showing the replay here on the footage, these games were just so competitive. Obviously, you wouldn't expect anything less for a major championship final, but the scores they were putting weren't, they weren't getting house ball because they were able to keep the ball in play, especially up top, and get that lit spinner or lit rollover, which was very crucial to getting to your super bonus and then also getting that lit spinner. So right now, as it stands, Escher 263,000, Ray Day 719,000, Neil with 255,000, ZMAC pops up. And this was funny. I'm going to let the audio play for a sec.
James. That's Zach McCarthy.
That's Zach McCarthy after the Willy Wonka game.
Yep. Zach McCarthy's aged 40
So
years.
there's a random guy people didn't know. He was just standing in front of the pin. But it was the photographer. I apologize. I forgot his name. But they were like, that's not ZMAC. So ZMAC steps up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, unfortunate ball one. Gets flipper float. Ends up with 63,000 though. So, or excuse me. 63,000. I had that written wrong. But then ball two. Excuse me. This was after he had hit it through the gate. So you'll see the nudges that there's these like subtle, like powerful little moves that they do, almost like the equivalent of a micro flip, but for a nudge.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if micro nudge is a thing, but man, it was so awesome to witness and watch because it's a skill that when you look at, you're like, okay, maybe I can do that. And you just obviously need to practice, but they were able to control the ball and get it to that center rollover where a lot of people kind of like, boom, right there. Oh, so good.
Oh my gosh.
So good. It was
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was just that because normally you're like bouncing it a couple times, but they would just do one singular powerful nudge. These, I don't want to keep calling them kids, but they sort of are. But these kids are really good. They're really, really good and teaching us some skills. So he gets a spinner rip, and it goes right back down to the shooter lane, which wasn't expected. Generally, it would go around the right orbit up into the rollovers, but it went right back to the spinner lane. Yeah, he's having a good laugh right there.
There's a term from basketball where like point guards with really good handles, you can kind of say that they have the ball on a string, and I feel like that some of these players like definitely do that with a pinball, right? It's like the way that they manipulate the machine. It almost seems like they're just controlling the ball even at the top of the playfield where they're not even any flippers.
Exactly, it's wild. Like who would be a prime example? Like CP3, would he be a good ball and a string kind of? Yeah. Maybe
Him
Steph
or like
Curry?
Kyrie,
Oh,
you know,
Kyrie's
like
a good one.
any
yeah.
of those like really just insane handles, sometimes I feel like that I see that when I watch some of these players play.
Yeah, no, great analogy. Who would be the Steph Curry of pinball? Who would you pick? Who's who's shooting from downtown?
Oh man.
I
I
would
have to
say
think
Keith
about that.
Elwin is LeBron. Um,
Yeah. The
uh,
GOAT.
yeah, I'm trying to think of like just also I don't want to say older, but over 30. Um,
Yeah.
Steph Curry. A young shooter from downtown, maybe Z-Mac. I'd probably pick
Yeah,
Z-Mac
I
for
could see
my.
Z-Mac being a Steph Curry.
Yeah, yeah. So there's the good analogy.
Right.
Maybe we'll do a basketball to pinball comparison game sometime. But anyways, back to Z-Mac. So he's on his ball two, or ball three right now. But on ball two, he had the 2x and super bonus for 40K. Again, he got the rebound to the center rollover against, but at that point, he had celebrated because he had such a good nudge, and then it went straight down the middle. Like after it went,
Oh
you
gosh.
could hear the crowd roaring, but then it like went straight down. I was like, no, I don't know if he could have saved it. I don't know if the celebration cost him, but we're gonna give him a pass because of pure imagination and being in the finals.
Yeah.
And so he ended up with 259,000 after ball two. Ball three, he got the 80K super bonus. So he's closing in on Ray. It's hard though, because Ray had the super bonus from ball one and ZMAC did not. So Ray had this built in advantage already. ZMAC ends up getting pretty damn close. He was missing the D stand up like a bunch of times, as you can see right now. And it's all he needed for the double bonus. So his grid was filled and he had like 3 or 4 or 5 shots on it and he just couldn't find it. But at the end, he got a right out lane and trying to catch Ray Day. And unfortunately, he ends up just a little bit short at 604,000. So what were our results after game one?
Yep. We got Ray Day in first with 4 points, Z-Mac in second with 2, Escher in third with 1, and then Neil in last with 0.
Yeah. So this bank consisted of Bally Kiss to start, Ray Day taking a really strong performance into game two. And it's not, again, the scores on this are, you look at them, you're like, oh, 600,000, 700,000. That's not easy to get. 200,000 is not easy to get, especially with the way this played. The count, T-Mac watching the countdown now. But as we move on, we go to Jaws Premium. So Jaws Pro was in the women's bank. Jaws Premium was in the main. And the way positioning worked at Papa was you either got the high seed, got choice of bank or games or position, and they could choose every game in the bank, but they would have to play the same position as everybody else after they picked their game. So Escher was top seed, and he got to choose bank, and then he had to go first on every game because that carried throughout. So game two, Ray Day in first. Escher is starting a Jaws Premium. So what do we know about Jaws? What do you normally do?
Yeah, sure. I usually try to hit that life ring target, the stand-up target on the right, to qualify that left outland ball save pretty early. Hitting the chum bucket, fills that chum line, gives you progress towards your multi-ball, your Jaws multi-ball. And then, hitting that captive ball at the boat will, trigger some optos to qualify your modes.
Yes, and a lot of people, and on the premium, they have that upper ramp where there's a wheel award, and there's some really good awards that you can pick from once you hit the right shot up there. There's a couple shots up there, some cool returns as well. But there's an upper flipper on that upper play. There's a flipper on that upper play field, and one of those awards is a super spinner. There's also one for plus 3x to your machete. Machete's sort of working like the Walking Dead one as well, which gives you a multiplier on whatever shot you're going to choose. So I think a good strategy after you've sort of qualified your modes is kind of see where you are on multi-ball. If you're not too far, I generally pick scars. And I think because scars in a multi-ball stack is terrible. You're trying to avoid hitting every shot is lit. You've got red shots and blue shots, and those red shots, I think, decrease the value of your blue shot total.
I think it's the stand-ups decrease the value of the
Oh, yes,
shot
I'm
for
sorry.
scars.
Yes, that's right. And so you want to hit your lit shots that count for scars, the blue ones, because if you clear it and then get the cash out, it's massive. You can get like 60 to 70 million. So your yellow stand-ups will light your beachgoers. There's 3 beachgoers per beach. Once you've lit them, you need to hit the shot again to collect them. So you've got to activate them via the stand-ups and then hit the shot 3 times to collect them. And then you'll get a beach closing cash out shot, so to speak. It's called the, close the beach, whatever. There's north, south, east, west, and whatever else there is. So I bring that up because there's a spot in this match where Escher sort of strategizes on what shot am I going to use with my machete. And so ball 1, Escher's up. He went straight for the life ring, just like you said, because that's a great perk to have, anything to extend your game, especially on that left out lane. So on the right out lane, there's a little gap, sort of like Viking. It's really hard to shimmy that one here and save it on this copy. ZMAC did it a couple great times, but Escher was working ball 1. He started scars before multi-ball, smart. And he finished scars, and by the end of his multi-ball, he was already at 143 million. So the first phase of the multi-ball here is sort of tough because you got to hit a bunch of jackpots, then hit the super, but you got to do that 3 times. But as you progress, the number of required shots, I believe, decreases. So you need like 4 or 5, I think, on the first one, and I think you need less during the second and third super jackpot. I could be wrong, but I know if you look at the Insider Connected achievements, completing phase 1 of the multi-ball or completing multi-ball part 1 is not as the percentage is not as big as the other ones, and you would think it wouldn't be that way. You think the first multi-ball would be the easiest, but it's not. And it's for that reason. So again, he had double shark mode progress through the left in lane as well. And for a couple seconds it lights, he started raft attack. He was just picking his shots off super clean. He had a right out lane drain to end ball 1 right there, but he still ends up with 189 million. He went through 2 modes, 1.5. I don't know if he finished raft attack, but yeah, great ball 1. Not much else to say. Ray comes up. Ray working for Stern. You would think he's got some of this dialed down immensely. And the reason I bring that up is because there is a part in his last ball that people were kind of questioning. And I do want to ask him about it. I know they were saying on the commentary about one of his strategies and why he didn't go for a certain shot. But Ray, ball 1, starts scars, finishes it, and he lights his award up top, which was Super Spinner. Super Spinner, super lucrative. They had to nerf it because Carl was blowing it up, I think, on one of his streams. He gets his bounty hunt. He chooses Mako, but when he chooses Mako, like shortly after, he makes a move, which you could make moves on this. I think you're allowed like 1 big move, but he makes this move, and it just like,
oh
yeah, I don't know if it deserved the tilt there.
That was a pretty big slap save.
Yeah, I thought I don't know. I
Two-handed.
thought he tried to get the debounce with the other hand, but yeah, I can see it. I can totally see it. And then unfortunately Neil comes up for his ball, and what do we have? You can watch this. You can commentate if you want.
Yeah, sure. Looks like he goes for the skill shot on the soft plunge.
Gets it.
And then immediately goes out the left out lane. Yeah, that's tough, man.
That is just so brutal. Like, let him flip. And he was so close to a point in the first game because on Bally. So he's sitting at 0. And it was weird. It had like 1,330 points for him already. So he kind of had some free points there. So not a good ball 1, but it's only ball 1. So ZMAC comes up and he kind of does the same thing. And guess what? He skill shots or he
Another left
has a
outlane.
quick drain. I don't even think he hit the skill shot because he ends up with 1.2 million. 0 on the
Yeah.
feeding frenzy, which is, I've never seen that. I don't know why they would tell you that. It's like taunting you for some reason, making fun of you. But anyways, that's ball one. So Escher comfortably in the lead at 189. Ray Day with 98. Neil and ZMAC bringing up the rear. So I want to go to 1 point in this match. We're going to get close to it. So Escher is making progress. Skill shot in the mini lane. And he took the 3X Machete Award. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because now you've got your machete and you've got a choice of, okay, where do I put it? I've got all these shots that I could take, and I'm going to let the footage play right here.
Machete lit alternating between his flipper button control, and you don't want to go through it when you don't have a big shot lit.
Yeah, it's not quite hard enough to go up the right orbit there, which would start video mode. Video mode's quite valuable in this game.
Does not choose the quick shot, machete the quick shot, but he will. Oh, he didn't take the quick
And
shot.
now he
Oh, he
started
didn't take it.
the hurry up,
beach
and he
close.
knocks it
Oh.
122 million. 3X Machete, that
Yes,
is a boom.
sir.
He closed his beach. He saved the patrons.
That was a
and
lot
he
more than
cashed
just
the
a.
money.
That was a plus 3X machete.
Yeah.
So he had a lot more than 3X machete there.
Yeah.
That was like I think at least a 4, maybe a 5X machete.
Yeah.
Now, right.
So that's why I was bringing it up earlier, because if you choose that 3X Machete and you can control not activating it when you don't have a major closeout shot or cash out shot left, you get that. So like that was, I did not realize how,
That's nutty.
yeah, right? 122 million beach closeout just on the center shot. So he had two, what we're narrating here is Escher had two beachgoers closed, and he chose the plus 3X Machete on the super wheel, the wheel up top on the upper playfield, and he had already earned maybe one or two other machetes. So let's say he had 5X. So he closes his center ramp beachgoer, and then he's got the cash out shot. So he activates his machete and backhands it up the center for 122 million. Your thoughts?
Oh, dude. That's a boom.
I know. I'm glad Greg was there to honor Levy with the boom call. So huge shot from Escher. Started his video mode, got the extra ball, got the oxygen tank. He ends up draining by trying a shimmy on the left, or excuse me, on the right to save it, but didn't get it. Still, great ball two. Sets himself up extremely well. Ends up with 431 million for his trouble. So, with that, we go to Ray Day, and we'll see what happens with Ray. If you want to narrate this real quick, if I could get to it. Here we go. Ray Day is walking up.
See him walking up. Yep. Got the Banjo Kazooie shirt on.
Yeah, lucky shirt.
Yeah.
How long do you think he's had that shirt?
Man, I could not even guess.
I try to look at the color.
But it looks great. Yeah.
Like, is
Very
that
well
cream color
loved.
natural? Or is that the result of aging?
Oh my gosh. That left out lane is just killing everyone.
And I think you're super
But yeah,
smart.
Quick train.
I think you're super smart to talk about going for that life ring. So on this one, you had to hit it once and then hit it again quickly because the timer, while it's active, was shortened, I think, on whatever settings they had, if that was competition. So a lot of players were using their multi-ball, especially during qualifying, if they had it, to activate the life ring because you didn't start with it. So yeah, fortunately, Ray ends up with 99 million. Neil walks up. What is Neil going to do right here? Let's take a look. I'll let you call it if you'd like.
Oh gosh. Not again. Okay, so he's going for the short plunge skill shot again here. Looks like he gets it, which is great. Level 2 skill shot for some decent points. And
Gets his gear.
yeah, nice right ramp. And another left out lane.
Three sling. I was almost two. I think that was three sling shots. It careened off the left from right to left, and then right to left out lane. I just feel so bad for him because he's making the shot you're supposed to. And on this version too, we'll see it there in the women's. Well, at least on their pro, it was the same here. but people were letting the ball, like you would normally do, hold the upper mini flipper on the right and let it sink down to the right in lane. No, my friend. This was like Godzilla, where if you did that, it could bounce off the post there. And there goes, Z-Mac with the shimmy.
That was insane.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was a crazy shimmy.
That was nuts. And it would go to the right out lane. And he hits his shot, gets into scars. He had the wicked shimmy to save it from the right out lane. It kind of like teleported from right out lane to the right in lane. He ends up, after all his troubles, with 38 million. So after ball, let me see. After ball 2, Z-Mac at 38, Neo with 21, Ray Day with 99. Escher comfortable in the lead. This was a quick ball for Escher ball 3. He shot it up the center, off the top of the right sling, and then he had a straight down the middle. So it kind of hit the right where the upper mini flipper is, to shoot towards those modes, those life ring modes. I think that's what they're called. And unfortunately went straight down the middle. Ray Day comes out for his ball 3. So what I want to bring up on Ray Day's multi-ball is here. There's a part, let me see if I can get to it. So he's playing multi-ball. I'll let the announcers speak too here.
Interested in the Add-a-ball at all.
Yep.
The pop-up almost gave one for free.
You think he'd at least hit it one more time so that it'd be one away, like so he.
So I'm gonna pause because how do you get the Add-a-ball in Jaws multi-ball part 1? You hit the chum bucket a number of times. Different settings can obviously change, but here it's like 4 or 5. So he's in multi-ball and he gets his extender, so his multi-ball continues. He's at 141 million now. He's got 2 balls. He's got one trapped up on the upper right mini flipper and the right flipper. So I'll let the announcers do their thing.
Chase it on a grace to bring the multi-ball back. What was that?
There it is.
What was that move?
That was cute. I loved it.
So now we're one away.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now he's got safety net.
Sort of. Yeah. If he's
He
ready
keeps
to hit
that
it.
trap. He knows that he's going to be able to hit it.
Yeah, it's a very easy shot to shoot. The captive ball is hard to miss. So.
Oh no.
Ooh, nice dig.
I don't like this.
That's fine. Oh
There
no,
we go.
save it. Ray.
What's he doing?
What is he?
Ray.
All right, I
Ray.
don't know.
This ain't Ray's game.
Old man.
He didn't make this game. He didn't work on this game.
He rolled his eyes too. I don't know.
So I guess the answer to our confusion was he wasn't aware.
So I don't believe that he wasn't aware of where the Add-a-ball is.
Yeah.
Like, what
Maybe
do you think
he
happened?
realized late or something.
Do you think he just realized late? Like, I mean,
That's what the eye roll was.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't shoot the Add-a-ball because it was there for him. I think they said, hey, it's ready for you. And here he goes into his bounty hunt multi-ball. He completed the Mako. This game has 4 shark bounties, which require you to do certain things like Cyborg and Iron Maiden, get a certain number of spinners, get chum bucket hits, blah, blah, blah. So he's in his shark bounty multi-ball, and he had Feeding Frenzy stacked. Feeding Frenzy can get absolutely wild. It counts at the end of your bonus. You build it up by hitting the spinner or switches, I believe, and then collecting on the stand-ups. So you can, and it's, I believe, timed, and it's awarded at the end of the ball. So he had 40 million on his Feeding Frenzy.
That carries ball to ball too.
Oh, it carries? Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, super bonus. It returns. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good code. So he finishes bounty and he's in celebration. And so celebration multi-ball, he had his life ring in celebration, I believe. The button's lit. I'll let this play.
First is going to be a lot huger.
Yeah.
Ray's a 2-time IFBA world champion.
That's going to
but
go out. He could have
uses his
saved.
life
Oh,
ring.
he
He
just
chooses
life
not to.
ring?
He chooses not to. He
burned
thought
it.
about
No,
it.
he burned it. He burned it late.
It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah. He,
Oh wait, it's
No,
back.
he
Oh.
thought about it and he wants to
but
save it for single
but
ball.
the light did go out.
Why did it turn off?
He'd rather keep it for individual
The
play,
game's
but
been
that's
doing.
not going to do it.
The game has done that to me in qualifying several times. The shark, the center hit came right back.
So he had his life ring available in Celebration, and he chose not to use it. And I'm wondering. So he was trying to catch Escher. He ends up with 267 million. I don't know what any of us would have done. Would you continue Celebration multi-ball or save the life ring for hopefully maybe a mode? What do you think? What would you do? Would you go continue? I don't know how lucrative Celebration can be. The combos increase as you make them. He was at like 2.7, but what do you think? What would you have done?
I don't know. Anytime I have like a outlane ball save or add a ball button, I think I almost always use it when it's available, just because I don't know if I'm going to use it later.
I feel like that's
But maybe that's kind of a
no, I
kind of a smooth brain thing to do.
I feel like that's the right move though, because why not keep? I don't know if it's because you don't know if you're going to go out that outlane ever again. So if you have
Yeah.
it, might as well use it. And it might not be the most lucrative mode. Maybe you want to save it for what you have next. If we're talking top players here, and we're talking games where they're like, yeah, I'm going to lose Reality Gem because I'm going to go get it again. Super long game.
Right.
I don't know. The Addaball thing really confused me as to why he didn't go for it. But we saw his eye roll. Maybe he just forgot about it in the moment. He's already sitting at 4 points. He's already sitting with a couple hundred million. So he ends up with he ends up at 267 million.
260.
Yep. Neil has a quick left out lane on his ball 3. Just snake bit on Jaws. He ends up with 24 million. Z-Mac steps up, starts Night Swim, stacks it with Jaws multi-ball. He gets another amazing like shimmy save off the right. I think he had mastered it at that point. He had a double danger move to right near when he started. Beach Panic, another great mode. He trapped up on the mini right flipper, and I'm going to show you this because this is kind of the dangerous thing that a lot of them were talking about, and I'll let the announcers do their thing.
Z-Mac with the
You
clutch save,
animal.
and he starts Beach Panic, and somewhere Ray is shaking his head.
Beach Panic. He needs to. Oh,
There we go. It's gone.
It happened again. It happened again.
Somewhere,
All right.
somewhere, Keith might be smiling.
Yes.
Keith Elvin smiling at his dastardly geometry. But that was what people were getting snake bit by, again, akin to the Godzilla Oxygen Destroyer right out lane. But with that, Z-Mac ends up in third with 153 million. It goes Escher, Ray, Z-Mac, Neil. Escher now with 5 points, Ray with 6, Z-Mac with 3, and Neil with 0. And our third and final game was the darling of the tournament, I think. And what game do we have here?
Some doggy soccer.
And what do you know about doggy soccer?
Man, this game's so fun.
It is.
Just shoot the goals.
Yeah.
Shoot the goal. Get through the goalie. Shooting a goal gets you, I think it's 10 million at first.
Yeah.
And then relighting the goal, you just have to go over those 4 kind of flashing rollovers on the screen right now. Filling up or completing your ultra modes will light the center soccer ball, and will also qualify your multi-ball. That final draw shot, it's a scoop right below that spinning soccer ball toy in the middle of the playfield. I consider it to be one of the hardest shots in pinball when it's lit. I know it's kind of maybe a bit of a meme, but I truly believe it. But it's incredibly satisfying to hit once you do start the final draw.
Did you play this in qualifying?
I think I played it maybe once or twice, just because I wanted to play. I think it was more of a for fun, on a dead card kind of game.
Yeah.
But I did struggle with it. It was I feel like a pretty tough but fair playing copy. Also the scores were just insane for qualifying. Right. So it's like, can I score 2 billion points on this? I'm not sure.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was absolutely nuts. I love that it has the rollovers. And then a little known thing I didn't know about was the the magnet button also
Mhm.
would spot you a jackpot activation in multi-ball. So in multi-ball, you hit your goal for a jackpot, which counts as you beating a country. But then you can use that same button for the magnet to activate. You're supposed to hit a ramp after that, and then you can score another goal for a jackpot. It would count it as one ramp. So I had no clue about that. So they were talking
Wait, are you
like,
talking about the magnet save button or the extra ball button?
I'm not sure which one it is, but whichever one you would think it is, that's the one. So
Okay,
I
all right.
think is that the extra ball button?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's below the plunger on the right.
Okay.
Yeah, that it qualifies one of them for your next goal.
Yeah, I had no clue about that. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
I can use that? Like, it's not
Yeah.
cheating. So
Good. It was I learned that from the Bowen tutorial video. He mentions that and is like, don't lose the game because you don't know the game.
yeah,
You know,
note to self.
right?
Now I know
Yeah,
why
it's
I'm
huge.
losing games. But yeah, so that was super cool to learn.
Yeah.
For this game, Escher had stepped up, started some ultra ramps. His ball won, left ramp reject, went straight down the middle. He had some nice striker awards, and Andy was bringing up in the commentary. These players were dominating the striker award shot, which is not an easy shot. So it's to the right of the goalie. It flashes red, has a little flashing red lamp right there. They were just nailing it, and it's not like it's this wide open scoop that you can just hit. You have to like thread it a little bit. But I agree with your thoughts on the final draw shot. I noticed a lot of players were backhanding it, and they were saying if you backhand it early enough, you'll get it every time. And you'll see some of the players in this match, able to backhand it. So Ray set up, gets his penalty kick for 35 million, qualifies multi-ball. He was trying to hit that final award. You'll see it right here. He's trying with four hands. There's another miss shot, like 4 or 5. But just goes to show you how he even hit it early there. I thought he had it right there. I think that's 5 right now. He's going to try, I think, again from the forehand. He's yelling at it or scolding it, misses it again. Goes to his right ramp, misses it again, drop catch, missed it again. He's going to settle down right here. I think this is the backhand where he nails it. Let's see. Bang, right there. Yeah, starts his multi-ball. Big sigh of relief. Escher giving him pointers in the back, saying, yeah, it's just straight ahead. So Ray used his button to relight the jackpot again, something I had no clue you could do. He had a great dig. So another thing I noticed is during multi-ball, once the kickback was used, a lot of players were scoring a goal. It would go down the right in lane, and then you would have to hit the target on the left while it's flashing green to relight your kickback. Very smart to do that, especially in multi-ball, because why not? Why not activate a safety net right there? He defeats Austria. He's challenging Canada to the chagrin of our neighbors to the north. And he ends up with a really good ball one with about 444 million. So he qualified his second multi-ball and hit the last skill shot, but he couldn't start that second multi-ball. So Neil comes in, striker award, hits a striker award, locks lit, starts the big goal round, makes 2 of 3 of those big goals. Do you ever finish those? I know somebody said you get an award for finishing all 3.
Yeah, I think it's big. It's pretty good points. It's very good value.
Yeah.
I don't know what the award might be, but I know you get like it just increases by like I don't know. It starts at like 20 or 15. Yeah, 15, 15, 30.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very good value for the shots that you hit.
Yeah, especially if your penalty kick's 30, so that's 60 million right there, plus 30 if you've got the penalty. You're at 90 million already, which is absolutely awesome. Yeah, someone said I think it may be a TV award or a striker award. You get something for getting all 3. I'll definitely have to look that up. Or you can email us. I will have an email for us, hopefully. Put it along with this podcast description. I do know some people had questions they wanted to send in comments. I'll get an official email address for us eventually tonight. And so ball one, Neil ends up with 320 million. He gets a sling town to the left out lane. Excuse me, 397 million, because he does get some really good shots in his multi-ball, and also gets those ultra awards. And I didn't know those could cap out, but they do. I know in multi-ball, if you have the ultra jets, which are the pops, it's really good because you can send it up there through the ultra spinner if you have that as well, and get your ultra jets up there. I think this is a really great game. I would love to own one day. Have you thought about ever getting one?
We used to have one on location, and I think we might be getting one on location again soon. But no, it's
20 to
it's a
30
great,
local folks
great
might
game.
already
I
pimp.
would love to have one.
Oops, sorry. Yeah, I think it's like the perfect tournament game too. Reminds me, I put it up there with like Harlem Globetrotters and Paragon. Just pins that are very fair, and once you really know how to play them, more so this than the other two, it can be a really good game for your card. So ZMAC ends up getting a house ball on his ball 1, 11 million. So we go to ball 2, and Escher steps up. Quick ball for him, side to side action after the ultra spinner rip. Left out lane, 65 million. Rayday steps up, gets his backhand to start the second multi-ball, and he's already up to Australia. Hits about 4 or so jackpots. He kept relighting his kicker here during multi-ball, which is what I was talking about earlier. You'll see him.
Big brain.
Seriously, very, very smart. I'm taking that strategy to heart. If I don't have a kickback, first thing I'm focusing on is hitting that first jackpot button, second jackpot, and then focusing on the kickback if it's not already lit. You start with 1, right? Yeah, I think so.
Usually you do, yeah.
Okay. But you see him right now, hit the goal, go through the right in lane, bang. And you see it because I think right here, or very close at some point here, it ends up being used like right away. So very, very smart.
I think we just saw it.
Right there. Boom.
Oh, there it is again.
There it is again. Yeah. Like he had a couple times where he was using it. So super, super smart play, kept relining it. And at the end of his ball 2, he is sitting comfortably in the lead at 1 billion points, 103,000 and change. Neil steps up, quick ball, had his ultra features lit, some of them lit, which are great for the bonus. So he gets to 511 million. ZMAC steps up, unfortunately. He just did not have a good ball 1 and 2 on this game, because he steps up. I'll get to him right here. It's pretty quick, unfortunately. Gets a skill shot, right in lane, and good save right there off the reject on the right ramp to the right out lane. So ZMAC had 3 points. He had a chance to force a tiebreaker for first if Ray only got 1 point, got third. So not the start he wanted. He's at 29 million. Ball 3, Escher. Never count Escher out. Starts his multi-ball. He's pacing a little because there was a little bit of movement on ZMAC's balls with the double danger. He finished his multi-ball, started his multi-ball, and finishes it with over 340 million.
Wow.
And so he is making the long, arduous climb to get to 1 billion.
Yeah, chopping that wood.
Chop that wood, exactly. He has a double danger. He had a lot of ramp misses. He was trying to get the lock. I think it's here. And yep, there's the reject. Dead bounces. Hits his goal. And Ultra Goalie is an interesting strategy. We'll see it on ball 3 of Rayday. So if you have Ultra Goalie lit, every time the goalie blocks it, you get points and counts towards your overall bonus score. There's his double danger. Again, finally gets the ramp right there. But we're watching Escher. He's slowing down, and eventually he begins his match. His second multi-ball. Gets up to Sweden. Really, really nice ball 3 after only having 65 million. Finishes with 858 million. Had ultra awards, but he got an up and down over the left. One of the worst ways to drain, I believe, when you get the up and over. Absolutely hate it. What's your worst way to drain?
That's up there. I
Yeah.
think the creeping up the in lane and then to the out lane kind of stinks.
Right.
And then probably the my least favorite is probably straight down the middle and just not even reacting, just
Yeah,
watching it
just
go
watch.
from like high up in the playfield.
I do that a lot.
That
I'm like,
sucks.
oh, it's gonna come down towards me. No, it's not.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Ray Day steps up for his ball 3. He had the strategy of during his ultra goalie, he was just bashing the goalie. He maxes it out or gets close to maxing out, I think. Again, he purposely hitting that goalie in the spinner. Here's his ultra spinner. Woo, nice rip. Taking his ticket, maxed out at 40 million. And then he ends up draining, but it's okay because he is sitting comfortably in the lead at 1.2 billion. And with that, he needs Neil to not pass him. Because again, he's sitting at 6, so he wants at least 2. If he gets 1 and gets third, then there was a potential tiebreaker. Neil steps up, had his multi-ball started, super jets as well. Gets a few jackpots, has a pretty decent ball, and he gets up to 1 point. Let's see, 1 point. Here we go. I think he drains close to here, and it's about 1.025 billion. So with that, we say congratulations. Ray Day is your Papa 21 champion. Congratulations to the over 30 crowd. Yeah. Any thoughts on the finals? The way it ends,
One
I'll
of
go
us,
quickly.
dude.
Sorry, real quick. ZMAC started his multi-ball. It was Ray first, Neil second, Escher third, ZMAC fourth. And your overall finish was Ray, Day, Escher, ZMAC, and Neil for the top 4. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just saying, one of us, man.
Yeah.
30 plus crowd feels good. First time since I think it was 2022 that someone over the age of 30 won the major. Last time was Eric Stone. So doing it for the olds. No, I mean, Ray played out of his mind. Really impressive play from everyone, obviously, to get there. Neil Graff, shout out to him, making his first top 4 in a major. Huge achievement, and I'm sure many more to come for him. Yeah.
You want to go over the payouts and whoppers?
Yeah, sure. Let's see, payouts. Oh man, I don't think I've seen this yet.
Yeah.
First place, a little over $4,500. That's sick.
Yeah.
Second place, 3,100. Third, 2,200 and change, and then fourth, 1,700. And then for the Whopper payouts, oh my gosh, that 400% boost for majors. Ray Day getting 364. Escher with 327, ZMAC with 306, Neil with 288. That's gross, as they say.
Right. Ray Day passed my total whoppers even after Papa 21. Just his first place. I was like, woo, doggy. That's nice. But yeah, so congratulations, everybody. Your top 10, well deserved. Days of qualifying. Arduous competition, grinding it out. And I'm going to let the footage here play. This is the ceremony for the trophies for Papa 21, one of the best trophies I've seen to honor the late, great Lyman Sheets. So I'll let it play, and here we go.
We'll be back next year, maybe some more solid states, maybe a few less EMs, but we'll figure it out. You want to get these awards going, Penny, or what? We all ready? All right, hang on a second. We got to remember.
There's Penny.
Fourth place in the Papa World Championship is Neil Graff, his first top 4 in a major. Neil! Wait, Neil, turn around. Congrats. Third place, Zach McCarthy. Get up here, Zach. Nice play, man. Oh, God. Live catcher. Second place, Escher Levkov. Nice job, Escher. Congratulations. Pictures of all four after this. Coming in first place, your Papa World Champion, IFPA Major winner, Raymond Davidson. Please let him have it. Good on, buddy. Congratulations, Ray. Ray.
That's right.
Take all four winners back up there, please, for some photos.
There's footage of Ray showing the awesome trophy to the camera, and then they're going to get a picture of all four competitors. Again, overall thoughts on the main finals. Really just good competition to watch, great skills, good bank. Bally Kiss, Jaws Premium, World Cup Soccer, well deserving of a Papa Finals. You know, it's not Thunderbirds, ABBA, and whatever else, but I'll take it. I had a blast watching it. Blast qualifying for the main open. And your final thoughts before we move on to classics and women's.
Yeah, no, it's another excellent run tournament. It's the second time I played card format. You mentioned watching your scores bleed. I was able to. I didn't realize at the time, but on Thursday I put in my best card, and I didn't realize I was not going to beat that card all weekend.
You had a really good card. Like I was like, dude, this has a chance to, and it lasted.
I was above the cut line for 2 days.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, don't sell yourself short. That first card was like really solid. I was like, dude, this has a chance to, even with bleed out, to still make the cut. But we saw the scores just literally, they were so tough. I mean, you're talking again, 5 games. You've got to get at least, it was like, I think at one point I calculated it was like you got to get an average of 133 to make the cut line or something around there. And that's not easy. That's like 133 on World Cup was still like billions. So, So well done to everybody. Well done to yourself. Did that make your card?
It did. Yeah, it did. I think I got a little over 20.
Oh, hell yeah.
20 some poppers for that. So yeah, it's on there.
Yeah. Nice job, everybody. Thank you for the 400%. Like I was like 150. I was like, when I get some decay, that's still going to make my card. It was like 9 points. I'll take it. So again, congrats to everybody that participated in the main. And we now move on to the classics. So your qualifiers for the classics, the format was unlimited pump and up. It was like 2.5 days of qualifying from Thursday morning to Saturday at 4 p.m. The top 4 had a triple bye. Top 40 made it in. 3-game banks, 4-2-1-0 scoring. Obviously, we're at Papa. Your finalists, Canadian Derek Thompson, and I don't say that with any sarcasm. The reason I mentioned that is because this was the same Derek Thompson from Yegpin, and also just won the classics at Northwest Pinball Championships. So he was on a roll. He was in my group during the playoffs in the quarterfinals. You had Zach McCarthy, Nick Wayna, and Jared August. Really strong group. Nick Wayna from Stern Pinball, Jared out of Michigan, and Z-Mac from the great state of Colorado. The bank, your top seed was Derek. Your bank was Aladdin's Castle, Little Chief, and Target Alpha. So, did you play any of the classics?
You know, I actually did not. So you were talking earlier about splitting your time, and I decided to just focus on main for this weekend. So you might be the go-to subject matter expert on the bank here.
No worries. It was tough. I will say I learned a lot about these pins. Really good experience for upcoming tournaments. I think this will really help me in disc. obviously not even if I see any of these, just overall on how to approach it, even though that's a card format, just kind of what I need to do to stay above the cut line, hopefully. But especially for future pump and dumps, now I know how to manage my time a lot better. Your games in qualifying, some of them had extra balls turned on, so games like Neptune, Dimension, man, they lasted a long time because you could get like 10 extra balls. So it was just, it was wild. But we're looking at Aladdin's Castle here. Aladdin's Castle, very simple. You have 4 rollovers at the top. C and D, you want to plunge C and hopefully get the rebound into D, because C and D will give you double bonus, which is huge on this game. And I'll show you when we watch the footage of Derek's ball 1. Derek Thompson was going first, Nick Wayne second, Jared third, Z-Mac fourth. Excuse me. So C and D will light your double bonus. A and B on the left and right will light your spinner on the right. Very big, because you need to get as much bonus as you can. And if you can't get the double bonus, then you go for the spinner rip. There's a horseshoe on the left. There are rollovers all over the playfield, which will advance your bonus. The horseshoe on the left, the first time you hit it, it's about 500 points, and then it increases, it goes to 1,000, and so forth. So Derek, ball 1, really, really nice ball. He plunged to C, got the perfect dead bounce to spinner rip for the D lane. He had 28,000. If you rolled this in qualifying, you were guaranteed like a top score. It was just really hard to get control. Derek had really, really good patience on the dead bounce. This one dead bounced much better than I expected it to. And I played this in my second round with Sean, Vincent, and Nick Mueller, I believe. And I got second on it by like 3,000 points. Luckily, I still advanced after that. This was my best finish at a major. I ended up in the quarterfinals in a group with Escher, Jared, and Derek, your eventual winner. I did have, just a little side note, I did have a great game 1. We had Sinbad, and I had over 100,000 points, and it was looking like that was going to be at least good for second. Unfortunately, we had a malfunction on Jared's ball 4 where he tilted it, but it gave him his bonus still. So after looking at it, Adam Becker came over and decided that it was a major malfunction, so we had to throw it out. And we ended up on Little Chief, which is the one classic I didn't study during. And so we'll watch Little Chief in this finals. But there was a move similar to the Bonsai Run Shimmy that you could do that would really set you up well. So Derek is up through 2 balls. He was already at 58,000. He hit a bunch of horseshoes on his second ball, but he didn't get the double bonus. Still at 58K, which was massive, because you'll see the numbers as we go through the rest of these classic scores, and that was just a good score to have because others didn't even get close to it through 2 balls. So he's already on ball 3. On his ball 3, he had the lane C off the plunge, got his B lane shot, some rebounds, another few good horseshoes and bonus. So by the end of ball 3, he's already at 80K, which is phenomenal. Nothing eventful on ball 4. Quick drain. Again, watching the footage of Derek was great because he knew how to play this. And watching him play it now, I know how to approach it in the future. You just let this dead bounce. The horseshoe is super dangerous. And for players that rely on micro flips and sort of flipper skills, it would burn you if you tried to like shats or flip over. But Derek ends up with...
Saw a little reverse bird there on his way out.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Derek because during playoffs, they did a poll on will he give the bird during one of the games, and he did the double reverse behind the back bird. I think were you calling that? I think you were calling the match.
Oh yeah. That was a good time in the booth.
Oh, that was too funny. So he ends up with 95,000. So Nick Wayne coming up. Again, the name of the game is to get your rollovers C and D. Nick is on ball 1 here. He plunges D, and man, Nick on this ball, I'll see if we can watch a little bit of it. But he had the spinner dialed in. Let me see. I think it's coming up after his horseshoe and dead bounce here. He was the only person I saw rip that spinner multiple times. The unfortunate part was the spinner was not lit, so you're only getting, I think you're only getting like 100 per spin. I don't know if he's coming up here. He's he had some wild flips. Here we go. Maybe it was ball 2 or whatnot, but he had some. Okay, there it is. Really good rip. He was only getting 10 points a rip there. He was trying to get that C lane, couldn't get the nudge up top. It wasn't Tilt End's game, I believe. So they did turn off extra balls as well in the playoffs. Nick, ball 1 through 2, gets through 34,000, which isn't bad. So he's on pace for catching up with Derek. Again, ball 3, good spinner rips. Couldn't get those B or C lanes for the perk. So he had A and D, which stinks because you're trying to get just any pair. One of the perks is great. Double bonus, okay. Look, his bonus is almost max. It's almost, I think it's maxed out on the playfield right now. He's at 10K. All he needed was C or D. You see the announcer highlighting it on the screen. There's another spinner rip. You think you're going up top, you're good to go. He gets the D right there. Spinner rip. Okay, I'm set, right? Nope, D again. He just can't get that C rollover in another spinner rip, but this time was rejected a little. So after his ball 3, he was only able to get A and D. He ends up with about 55,000. So he's on pace to still catch Derek. His ball 4, super quick. He plunged C, it got the B, but he had a quick right out lane. These games are pretty fast. And he ends up, after all 5 balls, with 71,000. So it's Jared August's turn to come up. And Jared, quick ball 1. I think he had a quick ball 1. Oh no, he got it back. He got it back to the shooter lane? I think I had my notes wrong there. But he hit B and C. Solid bonus build up. He ends up with 26K. I think he did get through back to the shooter lane. So he's on pace. He's on pace for over 100,000, which is all you want on these games. After seeing this, do you have any thoughts on playing classics for next time?
I'm not ruling it out.
Yeah.
I do kind of wish I played the bank because there are a lot of games there that I had never seen before, and they looked really fun. But yeah, it just came down to like, what do I want to spend my time on?
Yeah, it's kind of measuring Whopper opportunity versus also the money spent on it.
That definitely crossed my mind.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's not free. So, but Jared up. So right now, Nick has 71,000. Derek has 95. Jared is on ball 2. He ends up with 29,000 after his second ball. So Jared gets some quick drains. Unfortunately, he ends up with 44,000 for his game on Aladdin's Castle. Z-Mac steps up, ball 1, plunges A, quick right out lane, so he ends up with 5,000. So again, with classics, you're kind of just at the will and mercy of the machine. You know what to do. There's not a ton of rules here. Z-Mac, and I was bringing this up before because Z-Mac's has really good flipper skills, but on these type of pins, that can also hurt you. You've got to trust the dead bounce on this one. There were a lot of times where people are like, oh, that dead bounce off the right flipper just isn't working. But man, you had to trust it because these little flipper tricks were not working with the limited amount of real estate you have on the left. You want to get it on that left flipper so you can send it back up, get your super powered perk of lit spinner or double bonus. You see Z-Mac trapping up. It's not even going all the way up. And boom, right there, he tried to shats it. Couldn't get it over. But his first 2 balls, he had a bad transfer on ball 2, went straight down the middle after gliding to the right. And there it is, 14,000. He's already on ball 3. This was a house ball. We'll watch this just because it shows people how quickly this game would go. Boom. You don't want to plunge through D because D had a different trajectory to go straight down the middle. After all is said and done, ZMAC had a misread on ball 5, and your top 4 are Derek, Nick, Jared, and ZMAC. ZMAC ends up with 23,000. Top player in the world, and Aladdin's Castle took him out. Just how classics go. So we next go up to Little Chief. Little Chief is a very, very tough pin that I had no clue how to play. But what I will say on Little Chief is there is some good strategy and some good outs. So the way it works is at the top, Little Chief, you have A and B rollovers on the left and right, rollover lanes. You hit those two, and then your middle lane or your target
center
in
saucer.
saucer in the middle will light your double bonus. And then when you if you hit that middle lane up top, it also opens, or no, excuse me, the gate gets open. Well, let me see. How did I took the notes on this? Yeah, if you have double bonus lit, there's a gate on the right that you can collect whatever bonus you have. So it's sort of on the right of the playfield right there. So what you want to do is get your double bonus, get your bonus maxed out, and then collect your bonus through that right gate to go back to the shooter lane. On this copy, on the left flipper, so your right flipper is your main shot maker because you can shoot it up the left orbit. There are rollovers there, like many of these EMs and like World Cup Soccer, that advance your bonus. But you send it back up top to try and get that A and B, and then get the middle to light your double bonus, and then you collect through the right gate. But what you could do off the left flipper was backhand it, back shats it, so it would roll up the in lane. I think we're going to see Derek try it. Yep. And then get it to the right flipper. So that was the strategy that I wish I had known, because then I would have been like, okay, I don't need the left flipper unless the gate is open on the right to collect my bonus. I just need to get it to the right flipper and send it back up top. And you also obviously don't want to shoot for the center saucer. It reminds me of Stingray. Super important center saucer, but you never want to directly hit it. You just want to luck into it. So Derek, in his ball 1, he had a good bonus, and he was at, he cleared A and B, and he got 16K. Quick ball on ball 2 gets to 29. House ball on ball 3, he's at 32,000. So again, the great move here on this copy was the backwards shats to get to the right flip, the transfer. So we'll watch a little of watch a little of the action here. He's kind of trying to get to, again, a first place here would guarantee him top finish at Papa 21 for the classics. He has a right out lane drain there. I know that face very well. He couldn't the rollovers on ball 4 sort of screwed him. So he was at around 42,000. He hit the A on ball 5, but ended up with very little else. Left out lane. I think here's the rollover right here. Those rollovers were so mean. Like, they would stop the ball completely. Like, you'd think, oh, I'm good.
My gosh.
And there he goes. Yep, left out lane. So that's Little Chief. Derek ends up with 52,000. Any thoughts on Little Chief now that you've seen it?
Yeah, no, I actually just played this over the weekend.
Oh, nice.
Over the new Mom's Vuk location.
Oh, hell yeah.
They actually have a Little Chief. So this is I did get last on this game, so it wasn't pleasant, but no, it's fun. It's a fun game. I like the rule set for it.
Well, you and me both. I got last on it too in the quarterfinals. So I thought I was doing well. And then I was like, oh, 5 balls. I had like one chance for double. I had no clue though. Shout out to Garrett Shahan, again, Texas State champ. He was trying to coach me, and he's like, just go up top if you can.
Yeah.
I don't know if he knew about the backward shots. Maybe he did. Once I saw it, I was like, oh, that's how you get to the right flipper. I wasn't comfortable with one shot. All right, so we're back. Sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulty as we were talking about Little Chief. Nick Wayna did step up. On his ball 4, he cleared A and B. Got through the gate to collect the bonus. No double, but it was a solid strategy. He had a choice on ball 4 to go for the double or just collect. And I think he made the smart decision to go through the gate and collect it instead of going for the dangerous, going up top. And just take the points where you can get them, especially because Derek finished with 52,000. He was already at 58. So he's like, you know what? Let me take the points where I can. And he was making the shot there. And I think he collects right there. You know what? Give it to me. I've got max bonus. Smart decision. So with that, he ends up finishing his round with about 83,000. So he's currently in first. Jared steps up. And we will take a look at Jared's performance real quick. So Jared ball 1, great ball 1. He had the double bonus with the gate open. So I'll show you what that looks like. So it should be around right here. Wait, he's stepping up right about there. So he's around, excuse me, that was ball 1. Yeah, he had the double bonus with the gate open. They were doing some great nudging up there. So there's his B, and now his center rollover is lit, was getting the bonus advances. He ends up with a really good first ball at 29,000, which if you look at Derek's score, it was 42. So he's already on his way. After that, ball 2, he has a great nudge right here that I wanted to highlight. Let me see if I could bring it up to that point. 32, 35. We'll let this play.
Again, I guess if you go part way up, okay, and get it rolling down at correct speed. That's the risk, though. That's the risk.
Excuse me, it wasn't a nudge. I wanted to highlight. I'm sorry, Jared.
Just all the way straight up. It usually has.
I wanted to highlight the backward shats. I was looking at Nick's notes, but yeah, Jared, I apologize. What I was trying to do was highlight the backward shats to the out lane and show the dangerous. But Jared really did well on this this Classics tournament, and also on Little Chief for all his trouble. After 3 great balls, he had 48,000. On ball 4, he had a double collect on his bonus. I think we're going to see it, or it was counting up right there, and he ended up with 82,000 after ball 4. Unfortunately, on his ball 5, he tries it again, the backward shots, you see it there, but that ended up killing him to end his game. So ball 5, backward shots, 86,000 for Jared. Now he's in the lead after Nick's 83,000. So again, Go ahead. Sorry.
So he just passes Nick.
Yeah.
To take the lead, right?
Yeah, and those little rollovers, when you hit them, you're like, dude, please just don't kill me. But it's nice when you get a couple extra because, as you can see, he ended up with 86,000. So just passes over Nick. So Jared's sitting good, guaranteed no less than 2 points after his 1 from game 1. That was third place finish. So Z-Mac steps up. Z-Mac, not a good Aladdin's Castle game. He does a quick 2 house balls through the first 2. After 2 balls, he's already at 8K. I think on ball 1, yeah, he had the quick backwards tap. I think it may show up, but again, everybody was getting snake bit with that backward shots if you did it too much. He had a little tap there, sorry. So after 2 balls, Z-Mac is at 8,000. We get to his ball 4, which is where the magic happens. He has a great nudge to save a left out lane drain. He maxed out his double bonus, collected it at the gate. I think it's open right now. I wonder if this is the collect footage, but he goes through the right. He has special lit too on the right out lane. But everybody he gets his saucer too. So His gate is open. All he needs to do is get it to the left flipper, and let's see if he does it right here.
He had to change his mind at the moment.
Perfect.
Nice shot. Nice shot.
So he collects collects 20,000. I think his max is out at 10. So he's already at 67,000 on ball 4. He ends up crushing it. Just doesn't need a ball 5. Gets to 93,000. So that is Little Chief. That puts ZMAC in first. The results of Little Chief are ZMAC in first, Jared in second, Nick third, Derek in fourth. So it's tough after you get first on a game. You don't want to get a last because you want to kind of hopefully pad your lead. Those extra 2 points are huge. So after 2, we had a 4-3-3-4. Derek and ZMAC were tied. And then Jared and Nick were tied at 3. So game 3, everyone's favorite, not really, because Eldorado's better. Target Alpha. Do you know much about Target Alpha?
Yeah, I've played this before. It's just shoot the drops, right? Shoot the drops, go up top for the 5,000 lane.
Yep. So the plunge is really important because I think Ray Day mentioned it during one of his qualifying for the best scorer on this game. There are 3 lanes up top. 2 of them either can be lit for 5,000, and then the middle is just 500. But he was able to get the plunge perfect, and it rolled into the lit one, which I think was on the left, and the pop kept sending it back up. He got like 40,000 points. And so the way it works is there are 15 drops on the playfield. They are worth 1,000 in bonus each. The maximum amount of bonus you can have on Target Alpha is 90,000, because through balls 1 through 4, they're only worth 1,000 each. And then on ball 5, it's an automatic double bonus. So if you hit them all, it comes out to 30,000. So 15 times 4, 60 plus 30. So the max score you can get from bonus is 90,000. When in the grand scheme of things, isn't really, I mean, it's a lot, but if you can get any of those 5,000s up top, you're looking pretty good. And Bob Matthews had some great advice. There are 2 upper flippers on the playfield. Those are absolutely great for backhanding. It's a much safer shot. So if you can use that upper right to backhand, you might get a rebound into those 2 upper right rollover lanes. Maybe you get the 5,000, or you hit one of those drop targets. It's super dangerous to hit them head on, only in the center really, because the feed sometimes goes straight down the middle. Your out lanes can be lit for 5,000. You want to get lucky and get the right one, because again, as you'll see in this finals, every point counts, especially on bonus, because they're just they're very important. So they had scores up here on the screen right now, but Derek hit a few targets. Ball 1 got 8,000. Plunged down the middle lane on his ball 2, which was only worth 500. Good ball though, because he got the 5,000 on the out lane, so he ends up with 22,000. Ball 3 was quick, 37,000 for his troubles. Lots of targets on ball 4. Lots of targets. He ends up on ball 4 with 62,000 for his final score. Wow. So ball 5, what does he need to do? He needs to get as many targets as you can, because you don't want to waste the double bonus. So he had really good digs to keep going to save this ball, and he ends up with just 1 target left out of all of them on his ball 5. Absolutely massive. So he gets what is that? 28,000 in bonus, and ends at 106,000 on Target Alpha, which was a good score in qualifying. I think it would have been top 10 for sure. I think anything over 100,000 was pretty good. I saw some 130s, I think, maybe 150s, and I think those were people that got lucky with the 5,000 up top going up and down. So congratulations to Derek. That's all I really have to say about his game. It was just really, really good. He did what he needed to do, especially on ball 5. Went straight down the middle, but he's happy. He can't complain. He's it's basically almost winner takes all for the most part, especially at first,
Yep.
because you can't really get, if a 3 took 4, it'd be 7, and there's no 3. So winner takes all here. Derek finishes his Papa 2021 Classics run with 106 points. Nick Wayna comes up. Ball 1, not fun for him. Tilt. So he's at. Go ahead.
I said next.
Next. He's at 3,000. House ball on ball 2, 8,000. Ball 3, he's sitting at 26,000. So you kind of hamstring yourself if you don't get, let's say, 15,000 for the first 2 balls, because you only have so many points to work with after finishing each. You have a set amount that you can only get through those targets. Again, max 15K in bonus for each ball, 60K through 3. So even if you got every target and you're sitting at 60 plus whatever you hit as scrap change, trying to get to 106 is you have to hit everything again. So it's not fun. Like right there, he hits the center target and boom. You kind of have to hit him at an angle to get a better safe feed. Those upper flippers are not death like they are on a lot of pins. They're really, really helpful. So through 4, Nick had 41,000. He got the 5K top lane shot, but straight down the middle right there. So his ball 5, he had an upper right flip, and unfortunately gave him a terrible rebound. He ends up with 73,000. So no matter what, Nick Wayna cannot win Papa 2021, and Derek is still guaranteed at least 5 points. So we head over to Jared August, who has a really good ball 1 with 15,000. Hits the 5K skill shot. So one thing about Jared, everybody else was sort of plunging based on measurement. Jared was just going off feel. You can watch it here. It's kind of just looking at the ball or pulling it back and just going, and he's gone. I mean, he's an extremely talented player. So he was not measuring it. I don't think that was the right approach here, because I think if you measured where the perfect skill shot was, you should take it, especially. But what do I know? I think if there was a consistent measure, I would have taken it. I never found it. But if I had found it, I probably would have done it every single time. Because based on feel here, I don't think you could kind of get it consistently. However, as he shows on ball 2, he does end up getting it through the 5,000 right there. So props to him. He had an outlane for 5K as well. On his ball 2, ends up with 28,000. Ball 3, tons of target hits. I think he finishes with like almost all of them. He gets close to 45,000 for his troubles through ball 3. Wow. So he's sitting good. You only need 60,000 through the last 2 balls. Just get one good ball 4. Downed almost all of the targets again on ball 4. So by the time this drains, he is sitting at 68,000. So he needs 38. So it's still a lot. 40. So every drop would give him 30. So he would just need 5,000 plus the in lanes were 1,000 too. You did not see a lot of players shats the in lanes like a Gorgar or something because they were just too tight, and I don't think the guide was proper. So you had really tough, and you'll see ZMAC try it. 1,000 is pretty good on this. It's his bonus, but he ends up really good dig right there. Jared ends up finishing with almost all the targets, and here's his bonus countdown. He's looking 101, so 5,000 short, which just goes to show how important that skill shot is. Any thoughts through this?
Yep. No, it's I'm just reviewing the scores, and it was so incredibly close. It's like insane.
Right. So we get the ZMAC, and again, he does a really cool shot. I don't know if I have the timestamp for it, but he ends up hitting the upper left flipper, and it goes through the upper right gate. I think it's right here. Yeah, no, it's coming up eventually. I'll just let it play. So the way it works is there is a little gate up top. I think when you hit it, it can stick in a certain position, which is odd. But what he does is he hits it from the upper right flipper, boom, back to the shooter lane, and he's cracking up about it because you're not supposed to be able to do that, I think. But it's great because you get another chance at the skill shot, or pseudo skill shot. So he gets it, but it's not lit for 5,000. It goes down the in lane for him right there for another 1,000. So ZMAX ball 1, a ton of targets. He ends up with 19,000. Ball 2, another great ball, hits the last target on the top right, and then gets a rebound into. Let me see if I can get to it. Into the 5,000 lane up top, which is absolutely wonderful because that's what Bob was saying he needs to shoot. So he's like, okay, if it's me, I'm trying to hit that target on the top right. His head's in the way, but if I can hit it at just the right angle or a backhand, it has a possibility to bounce into the top right rollover lanes and give me an extra 1,000. So we'll just watch it for a little because I do think he ends up getting it. I think it's right here after the trap. But he's got one target left again, top right. Bang and bang right there. So 6,000 just for that. Clears all his targets. He's got an absolutely amazing start right now to try and catch Derek because right now, Derek minimum second place with 6. So if ZMAC takes this first, he would get the win and take home the Classics Championship. He would at 7 because he's tied with Derek. So he's still getting scrap points on this ball right here. His ends up after ball 2 with 58,000. So he's over halfway. Ball 3 is kind of quick. He's at 72,000. He's still scored over 14,000 on ball 3. So again, through 3 balls, he's at 72,000. We know double bonus on ball 5, so he would still be able to clear it on ball 5 through ball 4 if he had no double bonus. He's got the possibility. So ball 4 is just icing on the cake. He just needs to get close. And as we see how close this ends up, every target matters, especially on a game like this. Dead slingshot to drain here. I think he was expecting it to bounce right there. 88,000. All he needs is 18,000. So he needs 9 drops or, a 5,000 and some change. So we'll let the announcers do their thing.
And if he hits
less targets if he can get the 5,000.
less stuff if he hits the 5,000 or gets enough lanes and bumpers in the meantime.
Lovingly tapping it, trying to get it to go in that right lane.
There's 1.
Oh, good slap.
There's 2, 3, 4.
It's 5.
Yeah, you got
6.
Yeah. No.
Wow. Just barely takes second place, but does not catch Derek. And Derek's over there celebrating.
So ZMAC just misses out on the first place finish by 2 drops. Let's see, he had 830. Derek had 170. Yeah, so it was just 2 drops. 2 drops, and ZMAC goes from first to second. Congratulations, Mr. Derek Thomas, on your Papa 21 Classics championship win. The overall results on the third game were Derek, ZMAC, Jared, and Nick, and that is how they finish in the Classics Pop-Up 2021 Championship. Why don't you go over there, Whopper Hall?
Yeah, sure thing. So for first place, Derek takes 236 Whoppers. Nice job. We got Z-Mac in second with 208. Jared in third with 192. And then Nick Wayna in fourth with 179. And then rounding out the top 8, we got Bo and Cairns, Ryan Spindler, Zach Wallens, and Nick Muller.
Yes, really,
GG's, guys.
really great performance by everybody. I had a lot of fun playing. Getting to the quarters, I will take it.
You too, Hottie.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you, appreciate
it. Biggest Whopper haul for your cards.
Yeah, it was 33% of my total Whoppers. So
that's huge.
Yeah, I jumped from close to 700 to like 430. So yeah, I'll take it. My 2024 goal has been hit. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It was a good experience, but congratulations to all those guys. Really, really fun to play in the classics. And yeah, final thoughts. Well-maintained machines, great performance, great experience. And I hope to do it again next year. Hopefully I'll get to see you in some of the classics. Depending on how our cards are doing on the main, and go from there. So with that said, we have excuse me, one more main event to highlight in the Papa 2021 championships, and that is the women's. So can't forget about the awesome ladies of the women's division. Your top 4 finalists for the women's division event were Jane Verweiss, Stephanie Traub, Kristen Gregory, and Yasmine De Jong. I really hope I'm saying that right. I apologize. I've competed against them. I'm sure you have as well. Obviously some top players, not just in the women's division, but also in the main as well. I will say I'm super jealous of the women's banks now. They get some of the best.
Oh, yeah.
Like even
There's
at the
a really good bank,
right? And the UK Open, I was looking at the women's bank. I was like, dang, they get jackpot. I want jackpot. But they had in this bank Firepower, Medieval Madness, and Jaws Pro. So I don't know too much about Firepower. I know the fire letters give you a bonus X up top. They also had Spider-Man, didn't they? I'm looking at it right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, dang, man.
Love that game.
That is an amazing game. It has a really deep code set where I forgot what the name of the final wizard mode is. I think it's like hero something maybe, but it's like super hard to get to because you got to do the villains and then you got to do the side missions. But man, I wish that was in the main. So Firepower is Firepower. I know you have to hit the stand-ups in the lower part of the play field to light your locks. The top spelling fire gives you your bonus multiplier. And then the blue shots, I believe, activate your shield, which is your kickback on the left.
Yeah, I think I pulled up the Bob Matthews guide.
Nice, thank you.
The center stand-up targets will light the left spinner. And then he just kind of says up top all day through that left spinner.
Nice. So after ball 1, the ladies are at, so Jane is going first, Stephanie second, Kristen third, Yasmine fourth. Jane had just under 40,000. Stephanie had 11K, 18K for Kristen, and 25 for Yasmine. Again, very quick game, especially trying to shoot those center stand-ups. They're very dangerous, as you'll see. So ball 2 on Firepower, Jane had her spinner lit along with the shield. Unfortunately, she had a over-under to the kickback, but it lit she had her 2x, great, she had the over-under, but luckily her kickback was there. She got her 2x lit, great ball after a rebound from the right. This was sort of leaning. I noticed El Rucco talking about it. The playfield was kind of, I think, leaning to the right, it looked like. So she had a really good ball too. Ends up with 148,000. But the way it was leaning, I think what happened was because it was leaning right, it went straight down the middle. I don't know if we'll get to see it here. Let me see if it goes right. Yeah, right there. Oh. her face says it all. She's like, "Are you kidding me? Are you effing kidding me?" Right there. But good ball, 148,000. Stephanie steps up for her turn. She has her giant flashlight on, which was people were saying in chat, "Hey, what is that? Where can I get one of those?" But I've seen others use it. I don't know if it would help me, but I totally understand using it because some of those playfields are dark, and all the light you can.
I've used one before. It's I always just forget to bring it. I
Oh.
leave it in my car. No, it definitely helps on especially the older games with like not a lot of GI, or if it's in like a dark room or something like that. It's definitely a useful tool.
Yeah, I may have to. I think it's a pretty smart idea. I may have to bogart it and steal it and use it as well. So Stephanie's up. Again, Jane has 148,000. Everybody had a very uneventful ball one. But she completes her lower targets on ball 2, locks her one ball, shields activated, gets used. She gets a really good rip on the lit spinner, which is absolutely perfect. Gets her 3x bonus, which I think ends up being the difference here because once she had her 3x, she had a really solid, you can see it in the center of the playfield. I think this might be her rip now. It's coming up. Oh, that was her lock? I don't think it kicks it back yet. I think that's her first lock. She gets it, moves her rollovers up top. But by the end of her ball, she is sitting really nice at 175. I think this is the rip. Let me see. I just want to see one really. No, that's not it. There's the kickback. There's the good ski pass over. And she had... Maybe it's right here. I know she rips it good. I saw it. I want to see it now. Now I'm like determined to see there. There it is. Perfect. So I think she gets a good bounce off the. There's the 3x. So she got the nice bounce from the pops on the top right. So 3x at 97,000 base puts her to 175. Absolutely amazing ball to kind of take the lead there. Kristen. Coming up, gets her 2x. Unfortunately, she had some side-to-side action. She had a really good save, but it wasn't enough because it just ends up going to the left out lane afterwards. So the shield's very important. You got to get that activated. For her troubles, she finishes with 70,000 after her ball 2. And then Yasmine, quick left out lane with no shield. She was sitting at 25, but she ends up with about 12,000 for 37,000. So Jane comes up on her ball 3 and lights her 2x bonus. She had some good flips, but unfortunately she gets a quick right out lane drain. She's trapping up here. Spinner isn't lit. She's trying to get, everything going. There's her 2 up top, halfway to the bonus, next bonus X. She's already at 2x. And then there's the right out lane drain. Very, very quick game. I played this at Starfighters in Arizona, and I definitely learned how fast it can be. So these great players are doing the best they can because it is merciless. So Jane has 179,000. Stephanie just literally needs to hit a pop or two. She's already at 175. Sets her light up, and she doesn't get a flip here, I believe. So we'll watch this because I think it just goes to show how important getting that extra bonus X again on her ball 2 was. She gets a few pops. She's already at 179. Bunch of pop love.
I remember watching this. I'm probably like just outside the camera shot, but I remember I was watching it with I think Cody in the background, and we're like, "Oh, she got it off the pop. Like she gets a lot of pop love."
Yeah.
On the last ball, doesn't even get a flip.
Yeah, no flip.
Was able to pass her just from the pops.
It's crazy because the pops there gave her like 15K, and you're like, okay, I just need something. That's the best thing you can ask for. If you're gonna get a house ball, just stay up top. That's
really good score per minute there for the
the PPMs.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So Stephanie takes the lead right there. Just from the pops. She's sitting at 202. Kristen had 2x bonus with a good build-up, but unfortunately, she gets no help from trying to advance because you'll see coming up, she does a bang-up job of going for her targets. I think it's coming up pretty quickly, or if it's not, she basically shoots the center, one of the center stand-ups, and it goes right down the middle. So Yasmine comes up. Kristen ends with 141,000. Really good ball three for her. Straight down the middle for Yasmine as well after she hits the center stand-up. So she gets 48. So your first results for game one, Stephanie, Jane, Kristen, and Yasmine, 4-2-1-0. They go to everybody's favorite, yours and mine. Again, I wish this was in the main bank, Medieval Madness. What do you know about Medieval Madness? There's a couple strategies.
Yeah, there are. I like to go for castles. Just bash the drawbridge until it opens, and then you bash the gate until the gate opens, and then you just shoot straight up the center to destroy the castle. Kind of a similar mechanic to Attack from Mars, or like maybe even Stranger Things to an extent. But yeah, you can also kind of make progress to I think there's like another, what is it, catapult, or like
Joust.
I forgot the names of the other
Yeah,
ones. Oh, Joust, yep.
Damsel.
Multi-balls, Damsel, yep. And then you kind of start those at that little scoop on the center, kind of right to the right of the drawbridge.
Merlin's Magic, yep. So that little saucer on the right is your mystery, as well as starting your multi-ball, which is great. And then I think I agree with you. So the other strategy is focusing on the multi-balls, hitting your, again, fan layout. Qualify, it's kind of like Total Annihilation on Attack from Mars. Qualify your shots. Each one has 3. Activate the multi-balls. So you want to stack them. So you hit your shots on the left orbit, the left ramp, right orbit. Get your multi-balls ready, and then during your multi-ball, bash the castle. I also agree, though, with bashing the castle to start, because you might luck into hitting the ball lock, the main multi-ball, which is on the left of the drawbridge and the gate. And it's a tough shot, because if you don't hit it, it's kind of like, I think Elvira House of Horrors has the same thing, where if you don't get enough velocity, it just drops and it doesn't count as a lock shot. And your castles are 1 million, 2 million, 4 million, 6 million, I think it goes. And we'll see here. But Stephanie and the ladies here had the right idea, bashing the castle. And on commentary, it was Anna, Neil, Leslie Ruckman, and Penny Epstein talking about the strategy. And I think they all had the right idea. Stephanie gets a couple locks. Let me just take a look at my notes. So on ball 1, Jane had Slingtown to drain, 1 hit on the castle, 1.1 million. Stephanie hit the castle. There's a castle hurry up too. And I didn't realize there's a troll multi-ball as well. So I think if you clear the trolls, if you hit the scoop, it brings up troll multi-ball. So those trolls are 2 bash toys that pop out from under the playfield. Their geometry is so that if you hit up the center, it can rebound to the back of the troll and then roll down the middle, because the ball will stop and then either roll left or right. You want it to roll right, because if it rolls left, it could go down the center if it doesn't have enough speed. So there's so much you can stack here. It's such a fun game. I totally understand why people want the remake from CGC again. It sells for 20,000 plus for the Royal Edition on Pinside. It's just fun, a lot of fun. So for Stephanie, her ball 1 was absolutely locked in. She hit her second lock, started trolls, had Joust activated, multi-ball madness started. She hit her trolls 3 times, and then she brought troll multi-ball into Joust multi-ball, which I didn't know you could do. She had 10 million after her multi-balls were all done and the castles were being destroyed. She finishes with 11.5 million. Monster ball. Because do you see the scores? Your skill shot. Go ahead.
I was going to say, she also gets that double danger early. So she's playing, very kind of gingerly, or
yes, on borrowed time.
Basically making her shots, right?
Yeah, because once you have
missing her shots to get those.
Yeah, once you have that double danger, it's light featherweight touches. Then you can't move anything. Great point, because you now have to be as accurate as you can be. But we see Kristen here bashing the castle. Takes a lot of hits once you start getting down there. One of the mystery awards is, the first one is usually open drawbridge, which is very helpful. After that, it's 1,000,000 points. I didn't know there was another skill shot where if you short plunge and then maybe hit the castle, it's 1,000,000 points or something. Because the other skill shot is obviously the one up top over the rollover, which gives you the 5x on bonus. And I heard Leslie on the announcing, commentating, say, hey, yeah, I don't, bonus really isn't much unless you're starting to play your modes and stack up. Because then it can get up to 12x, 13x. It's not like Attack from Mars scoring. So a lot of people short plunge and go for the super skill shot, which I didn't even realize there was one. Kristen destroyed one castle for 2 million, ends up with 3.4. Yasmine hits the top lane skill shot. It's the mystery for 1,000,000. Locks one ball, locks two balls right away. Let's see if we can get to that. There's her mystery for 1 million. But she was on point with her ball lock shots. I think it's coming up right here after she gets the trap. I think she goes like in a row. For something she like hits them like dead on right away. I think she does the ski pass to the, no, maybe it's coming up a little later. But regardless, oh, there it is. It's from the right ramp. It feeds the right flipper. From the left flipper to the right ramp to the right flipper. Comes back down, dead bounce, and boom, there's lock 2. That's not an easy shot. Like, I've practiced it, and I'm like, how come I can't hit it like that right away? But she goes right into multi-ball right there, which is perfect. Go ahead, sorry.
No, you're good. I think so. During this multi-ball, is it the ramps that are the jackpots?
Yes.
And then you can also, during multi-ball, you can make progress towards your castle destructions.
Exactly.
So it looks like she has her gate open now.
Yeah, and I think some people say don't even focus on the jackpots because you don't know if you're going to make those ramp shots. Just hit the big drawbridge door in the middle and advance your castles. Because imagine if you get some really good feeds and rebounds and you get through a couple castles, that's your jackpots here are 750,000. So if you get 3 million on 2 castles, your first 2, you're already looking at 4 jackpots that you would have had to hit. And granted, it takes more shots, but I think it's the safer shot. So after all is said and done, Yasmine ends up with 8 million for her troubles on ball 1. And so we go to ball 2. Ball 2, Jane destroys the castle, locks her ball 1, opens that drawbridge via the mystery shot, and starts bashing this castle mercilessly. And does a good job, but unfortunately, she gets a right out lane drain and ends up with 5.6 million. So ball 2 for Stephanie is really where she blows this up. And this is a preview of what's to come later on. But she absolutely murders Medieval Madness. Gets her mystery for 1 million. Destroys the second castle. Great dig to stay alive. She starts trolls for the second time right there. They're up.
Wow.
Gets the hurry up for 1 million. Starts her second multi-ball. And during that multi-ball, also destroys her third castle. Her fourth castle was primed too. By the time, we're already looking at her just crushing it. By the time this is all said and done, she's at 37 million. So just to show the other scores, it was 5, 37, 3.8, and 8.6. Unfortunately for Kristen and Yasmine on ball 2, very quick balls, 3.8, 8.6. So we are now in the final runnings with Medieval Madness. If Stephanie wins, she is guaranteed first place and takes home the coveted Lyman trophy for the women's division. So it's up to Jane, Yasmine, and Kristen. See what happens. Ball 3. Jane, unfortunately, quick ball, 6 million. For Stephanie, this is where the trolls get her. I think she hits a shot here, or it's coming up somewhere where she, yeah, here's the trolls. Starts it again. They pop out. And I think the feed right here, it like ricochets or something, bang, right off the troll face, straight down the middle. But very, very great game by Miss Traub. Ends up with 39 million for ball 3. It unfortunately doesn't go any better for Kristen and Yasmine. They have quick games, and your winner after 2 games of Papa 21 Women's Division, Stephanie Traub. Congratulations to her.
Yeah.
She plays out of your area, right?
She does. I play her all the time. Yeah, shout out Stephanie. She continues to, I think, improve on her skills, and she's building on her legacy, winning Papa Women's, and then she's also won Indus Women's as well. So, yeah, really, really great job from her, and congratulations. Well deserved.
Yeah, awesome job. With game 2 deciding the winner, we'll just quickly go through game 3, Jaws Pro. We already went over the strategy. Here, Stephanie can just kind of coast. She doesn't really need to do much. But the way this ends up, everybody's ball 1 is terrible except for Yasmine. She started Beach Panic with the multi-ball and activated Night Swim multi-ball and Super Life Ring. So Super Life Ring, super lucrative mode. The Life Ring target will flash, and it starts out at 5 million or 10 million and then goes up 5 million every time you hit it. So it's like a timed frenzy sort of mode with just the one target. It can get absolutely massive. Her final score after ball 1 was 90 million. Ball 2, Kristen had an insane ball. Let me see if I can get to some of the footage on ball 2. Where are you, Kristen? So she had like 3 or 4 shots on Super Life Ring, I believe. And out of nowhere, the announcers are like, wait, she's already at, there's her Super Life Ring right there for 25 million. She was in Scars. She saved Pippet, started Bounty Hunt. She ends up with her ball 2 at 229 million. And by the time we get to ball 3, Yasmine had 131 million after ball 2. Jane finished with 69 million. Stephanie with 105. Kristen with 287. She started Night Swim on ball 3. Unfortunately, Yasmine had a quick drain. The results of Jaws Pro, the final game of the Women's Papa Championship, was Kristen, Yasmine, Stephanie, Jane. And the way they finished is in what order?
Yeah, for the final, so Stephanie takes it in first place. Kristen gets second. Yasmine gets third, and then Jane gets fourth.
And those payouts were?
Oh yeah, payouts great. 846 for first, 668 for second, 530 for third, 440 for fourth. Yeah, and they've got great whoppers as well. So Stephanie gets 48 whoppers for first, Kristen 31 for second, Yasmine 22 for third, and Jane 17 for fourth.
Awesome. So we'll watch the ceremony here.
The division has finished. We are going to announce the winners in the center of the bowling alley here. Please gather around if you would like, cheer them on, and let's get a little round of applause going.
Congratulations to all the women.
Okay. 4th place for the Women's Pinball Championship, we have Jane Verweiss.
4th place is Jane Verweiss. Jane, please come out here. Third place, Yasmin Leon. Please come out here.
Yasmin, sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Yeah, apologize. I heard someone else say it like that. I was like, oh, that's correct.
Second place, Kristen Gregory. Please come out here. Congrats. place, taking home our Lyman statue, the Papa Women's World Champion, Stephanie Charles.
Awesome.
The trophy's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Like, that's a good piece of hardware to have. So with that, we have finished our in-depth review of Papa 2021. I'll let you say your final thoughts, and then I'll transition us into our last segment. Fun little one.
Yeah, no, it was a great event. Really great job by Andy and the IFPA staff. I think it ran super smooth. I know a few games went down, but they were able to get them, I think, repaired pretty quickly, or replaced if needed, or just overall just really well done. Yeah, it really surpassed all my expectations, and I can't wait to go again next year.
Yeah, me too. Again, job well done, everybody. Really not much else we can say. Can't wait till we get to the next one. And with that, our in-depth coverage is finished, and we're going to play a quick little game. We're already at 3 hours again, but that's what happens when you love talking tournament pinball. I thank you for humoring me on this. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to go and build a bank. So we've got the UK Open coming up, and we've got 3 separate events. So if you were going, now that you've been through a card format as grueling as, not that you haven't before, but a major card event with the grind that Papa presented itself with, just like in disc. These are the games for the main UK Open. So as you look at this list of pins, which 5 are you picking?
Yeah. Is that Stern Avatar? Or is that that's not Jersey Jack Avatar?
No, not Jersey Jack. So actually, I apologize. Not everybody's watching this. So let me list the pins.
Oh, sure.
For the main UK Open. There is Alien Star, Avatar Pro, Baywatch, Cheetah, Elton John, Flash Gordon, Funhouse, Genesis, Indianapolis 500, Iron Maiden Premium, James Bond 60th, John Wick LE, Jurassic Park Pro, Labyrinth, Metallica LE, Monster Bash, Pulp Fiction, Rush Premium, Stranger Things LE, The Shadow, The Walking Dead Premium, Total Nuclear Annihilation, Twilight Zone, and Whirlwind. So mix of mostly modern, Flash Gordon, Whirlwind. Flash Gordon is your oldest. A Cheetah, maybe? Cheetah's your oldest? Alien Star? Okay, I see it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Which one would you pick for your 5, and then I'll go?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna kind of gravitate towards some of the games that I'd focused on in Papa, just from a familiarity standpoint. So I'm immediately looking at Iron Maiden, Metallica, Rush, and then to round it out, thinking Avatar, and I actually like Baywatch.
Yeah.
I think that would be the 5.
That is a good card. Minus Avatar, yeah. I mean, I've gotten to the wizard mode, but I don't know what the hell I was doing. I think it's just an easier wizard mode. Good card. So no older ones, because those are
I don't think so. No.
Yeah. No Flash Gordon.
Maybe depending on how the scores look towards the end of qualifying.
I think that's what I would choose.
Something.
I would gravitate towards Flash Gordon only because I know it well now, but it's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
If I can't, shats over and get to the drop from right to left and hit the bonus drops, then I'm in trouble. And if I can't reliably hit those left ones to get everything lit, I'm also in trouble. So I would probably go Definitely Monster Bash. I think I know that one well enough. Stranger Things Ali is behind me, but man, it's such a hard. If you can just survive and get a bonus multiplier, you're looking good. But I feel like
hopefully they have virtual locks on.
Yeah. Oh God, please. Just knowing the competition that's going to be there. I'd probably put Stranger Things. I know it's going to get blown up, but maybe I can luck into a few 100 million. Definitely Whirlwind. It's my all-time favorite game. I know it very well. It can be very unfair, but man, if you can get that right ramp dialed in, you're set. That's all you need. You just need that shot. Because then everything else comes with it. If you can luck into a spotting a directional shot off the left ramp.
Maybe if you play it early enough, you can even backhand it.
Yeah, I know, right? Seriously, for those coils heat up. I'd probably do Twilight Zone now that I've learned to play it a little more. But if I don't do Twilight Zone, so I have Monster Bash, Stranger Things, Whirlwind. Indianapolis 500 is so much fun. I love it. I'd probably put that on there as long as the ramp doesn't reject too crazy, and then maybe Baywatch. So if not Indianapolis, then maybe Iron Maiden. I could probably get some stacks there and hopefully do well. Late game I know nothing about. I just know get me into Mummy and Trooper, and I'll go from there. Yeah, so that's a good card for us. I think the banks look great. Now we'll go.
I really like the bank.
Yeah, it's really good, right?
Looks good.
Let's go look at the classics. Why don't you list these for our listeners?
Sure, yeah. We've got Ali, Alien Poker, Big Game, Blackout, Centaur, 8-Ball Deluxe, Embryon, Farfalla, Firepower, Free Fall, Future Spa, Genie, Harlem Globetrotters, Magic Castle, Matahari, 9-Ball, Pinball Champ 82, Quicksilver, Robot, Skateball, Spooky, Stargazer, and Stars.
So some of these are Zacharias that I've never seen. I'll go first here. I've posted my thoughts on Discord. I'm definitely going 8-Ball Deluxe, Harlem Globetrotters, Skateball because I own it even though it's off, Stars, and then for my fifth, most likely Genie or Matahari, depending on the Matahari saucer, if it rejects it from up the middle, if you're shooting up the middle. But probably those five, those are the ones I'm most comfortable with. Alien Poker isn't bad either. It's pretty straightforward. I've listened to Bob explain it a bunch of times, and I think I'm good with that. How about you?
Yeah. I think a lot of there's going to be some overlap here.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, two of my favorite games on the list, 8-Ball Deluxe and Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a little worried because if they're, such common picks, I feel like a lot of people are going to be playing those games, right?
Yep.
So they need to just kind of keep a lookout for those scores. But those two off the bat are great. I do like Embryon.
Yeah.
I also really like Centaur. So that would be 4, and then to round it out, I think it would be either Quicksilver or actually I didn't say Skateball, did I?
No.
This is tough. I like Quicksilver, Skateball, and Stargazer. All three of those, so it's pretty interchangeable for the last game.
No stars?
No stars. No. Not on the card.
What if it has a center post?
Especially if it has a center post. Definitely not.
I love it. So again, what I'll do is I'll put our email address in the show notes, a new one, and you can send us what you would pick. And also what I'll do is during the outro, I'll just have like a little, a link. We'll also have a link to the list. I was going to do like maybe a slideshow of these banks. Cool. But tell us what you would pick. Email us. Again, look for the email address in the description of the YouTube video and also in the Spotify podcast link. And to round it out, we have the high stakes bank. and this is the Pinball Republic Championship. They have Beatles, Demolition Man, F-14 Tomcat, Fishtails, Iron Man, James Bond Premium, Kiss, Lethal Weapon 3, Lightning, Meteor, Tron, and Turtles LE. What are you going for here? I'll let you go first.
Howdy, I think I'm not playing in this one.
You're not putting a high stakes card in?
I think I'm just not going to play high stakes. No, for the sake of conversation, let's see. I definitely like Tron. This is another 5-game card.
Yes, 5. Each of these are 5, which is brutal. I might just go see London instead.
Yeah, right. Do you know if it's? I know someone asked it recently. But do we know if it's Stern Kiss or Bally Kiss?
Stern.
Oh, Stern Kiss. Okay, nice. I like Stern Kiss. So we'll go Tron, Kiss, Bond, Premium. Let's say Iron Man and Fishtails.
Yeah, really good choices. I think Fishtails, Iron Man, James Bond. I'm not as comfortable on Kiss as I would like to be. I'll probably do Meteor and Tron. Kiss is a good one, but man, I can't. For some reason, I can't make the shots on it. I just have never had a good run on it. But those are our build-a-banks, build-a-cards. The UK Open streaming exclusively on Backhand Pinball, twitch.tv/Backhand Pinball, I believe. This coming Thursday, starting in a day and a half. Qualifying begins at 10 a.m., goes up until Saturday, I believe. Maybe Friday night for classics. And then Pinball Republic, the high stakes is the last tournament. And I think it goes till Saturday, and then Saturday qualifying ends for Maine. And then Maine is on Sunday. So top 40 make it for the main A. Top 40? Yes.
Yeah,
and then next 16 for B. Classics is 32. And then high stakes is 24, I believe. So shout out Neil McRae setting all this up along with his staff. But yeah, here we are. Another episode done. Papa was a great time. Just a ton of big tournaments the last couple months. It was really hard to kind of say, oh, it's going to be a short episode for me. Just thinking about it, I was like, okay, we only have one tournament, but it was just a lot to talk about again.
Yeah.
It will continue. Hopefully you enjoy it. What I'm looking forward to in the next episode is discussing the UK Open, previewing Cincinnati, maybe mega match play. They have a few every year, so maybe not, but probably previewing Cincinnati. And then maybe we'll do a different game of fantasy pinball drafts or something. We'll think of something. But what are your final thoughts? What are you looking forward to? And we'll end on that.
Yeah, no, another great episode. Thanks, Hadi, for having me on here.
Of course.
No, yeah, good luck. Safe travels to the
Thank
UK, and say hello to everyone out there while you're there. And good luck. Hopefully, you get another great finish.
If I could get 50 whoppers, I'll be so happy. I'll be so happy. I got some room on my card.
There you go.
Good luck to you in your DMV Cup. Get to that 250. You're close. You're very close. You can do it. But thank you again, everybody, for watching episode 3 of Wizards and Warriors. Make sure you check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Frisco Pinball /The Pinball Network. Jay Land is going to have a cool new logo on this, and we'll see you guys next time.
Shout out, Josh. Thanks, everyone.
The lights are flashing, the bells are ringing. I step up to the table, my heart is singing. The crowd is watching, the tension is high. I'm ready to play, it's time to defy it. Pinball warriors, we're ready to fight. Multi-ball madness, a target light. Uppers and flippers, we're in control. Pinball wizards, we the arcade's alive. The flippers respond to my every command. In the pinball kingdom, I make my stand. Pinball warriors, we're ready to fight. Multi-ball madness, it's our delight. Flippers and flippers, we're in control. Pinball wizards, we got the soul.